Good morning. It's now time for another edition of Freedom with Steve Nichols. Brought to you in part by Sam Dennis Law, personal injury attorney, methodical, prepared, and battle ready. And by Kilby Family and Cosmetic Dentistry, dental care for the whole family. Now, available on Facebook, YouTube, Discord, and freedomnetworks.com each weekday morning from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Here's your host and last best hope for freedom, Steve Nichols.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Freedom with Steve Nichols here every Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on the freedomnetworks.com. Appreciate you tuning in this morning. We're in the SGAwater.com studio. Go to SGAwater.com and schedule a free water test for today or any day soon. You need to know what's in that water. You drink it, you brush your teeth with it, you cook with it, you bathe in it. You just need to know what's in it. You can do that for free. If the internet ain't your thing, call 229-251-1100. That's 229-251-1100. We also do the pledge and the prayer to kick our days off here on Freedom with Steve Nichols. That's brought to you by our friend Ramon and the gang at Ross Automotive, 432 Connell Road. They're open to 6 p.m. each and every day for anything wrong with your car. If it's making a noise or it's got a problem or a check engine light may be on, or maybe it's just a routine tune-up or maintenance. Maybe your brakes are squeaking. You can pull in there and let him check them for free, and he'll tell you what you need to do or how long you got before you need to address that problem. But 432 Connell Road, and if you find yourself in a situation where you've got to park a camper, an RV, or a trailer somewhere and you can't find out where to do it, the storage units are too high, go by and see Ramon there. He may have a solution for that too. But let's go to the Lord in prayer this morning as we kick off our Monday. Dear Heavenly Father, thank you so much for sending Jesus Christ to cover our sins, Lord. Thank you for always being there no matter what predicament we find ourselves in, Lord, whether it's one we created on our own or just a comedy of events that came together in a way that wasn't intended. Lord, just be with all of us as we go through our own set of problems. Lord, ask a prayer from you this morning for me specifically to help me get through the next couple of weeks with a clear head, a clear vision, precisely in a way that first and foremost pleases you, Lord. That we fall short of that many times. I know I have, Lord, and just help us get back on the right track and remember what the important things in this life are, Lord, and not put anything above that, Lord. Lord, I pray for all those who are sick or in need of any comfort, Lord, from you. Only you can provide that, Lord. And I hope you grant that to those who need it and deserve it and want it and desire it and want to return thanks for it to you, acknowledging you and acknowledging what you've done for us here on the planet Earth. Lord, continue to guide us and keep us for us. In your name we pray and we love you. In Jesus' name, amen. Let's say a pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, 229-469-1417. That is the Valdosta Transmission Hotline. If there's something on your mind this morning, feel free to call and let's talk about it, whatever that is. The show is about what you want to talk about. Troy just sent me a text reminding me that the Artemis rocket will be going off today. I think it's going to launch at noon. I was hoping it would, launch around daylight. So many of y'all heading to work or traveling, y'all might get a shot at it and see it, maybe take a picture of it. And for those who are cooped up inside, not able to look, but it's not. It's going to go off around noon today. Very significant launch. It's going to include the first, I don't know about the first woman. Well, you know what? I'm just going to table that because this may be a joke from Troy. So let's just scratch that until I do a little more research on it. We'll read on it later there, Troy. I don't know if I get the joke he was trying to make that, and that's going to be confusing because I can't read the rest of it, but just forget that. My mind's not all here this morning. I apologize. I'll get it in gear. And, yeah, I do need more coffee this morning, Richard. I apologize. It's just rough start to the morning for some reasons I'm not going to share on air, but you just we'll get through it. The breaking news overnight or late yesterday evening because of the time difference there. Multiple people are killed inside an Oregon grocery store after a man opens fire with an AR-15 style rifle. He entered a Safeway grocery store. At least 2 people were killed after a gunman opened fire in a Safeway grocery store in Bend, Oregon, Sunday night. Officers responded to reports of an active shooter at the store in Northeast Bend shortly after 7 p.m. The shooter entered the parking lot of the Forum Shopping Center from a residential area behind the stores. Suspect opened fire in the parking lot with an AR-15 style rifle. Police said no one was injured in the parking lot. The gunman then walked into the store and shot and killed a person in the front of the store. The shooter continued walking through the store and shot and killed a second person. The suspect was still shooting when responding officers arrived at the scene. Police then found the suspect dead. Officers did not fire any shots. One additional person also may have suffered non-fatal injuries. Now, if 2 were dead and 1 was injured, this doesn't classify as a mass shooting. By definition, a mass shooting is 4 or more injured or dead. Police have not yet identified the suspect or the victims, nor have they released how the shooter came to his own demise, whether it was by suicide, an armed civilian, we don't know. Kratz said the investigation is still active. Police are working to obtain warrant to search residents in the area. Officers received reports of other possible shootings in the area, but found no evidence of any additional incidents. I don't really have any commentary on that right now. I find it interesting, or I wonder a little bit. There's shootings that occur in the U.S. every day, according to statistics. So I wonder what makes this one make the news, other than it's an AR-15 style rifle, maybe. I don't know. We'll just kind of keep a watch on that and see what happens. Incidentally, if anybody, I got a report yesterday of some possible things going on in our one of our schools in particular, a middle school in particular in our listening area that has had, and this is complete hearsay at this point, but the sources that I'm getting the information from, things, they do seem to add up to a possibility that this is going on. If anybody has any intel on that, shoot me an email, askstevenichols@gmail.com, or shoot me a message or text if you've got my phone number. I'm specifically trying to find out if there's anything going on with guns in local schools to a degree that we don't know about, or that is alarming. All of it's alarming. It's not just this is a series of gun events at one particular school, 4 of them that has happened this school year. If it's true, I don't want to call the name of the school, identify the school system. I don't want to do any of that. If y'all chat about it on the thread, that's y'all's business. But I'm trying to get to the bottom of it to find out if it's authentic, or is it just some sort of rumor that's gotten legs somehow. We're just trying to find out exactly what's going on. Good morning to everybody that's tuned in this morning, getting up and early, getting their day started. A lot of people on here. Good morning to Bobby Bay, Mary Williams, Richard Todd, Larry Watford, Mr. Poole himself, right? Doing it the Watford way this morning. Keith Goebel, man, y'all got some rain down that way, didn't you, Keith? Janet Grant, good morning, Miss Janet. Bobby Grundy, good morning. Jim Parker, good morning, sir. Kevin Michael B, good morning. Abby Pearson, good morning. T-Rex in the house. Big B, Clay Lacey, Regina Stone, Lisa Griffin. Trying to get through here, make sure I got all the names. Jacqueline Miller, Terry Redding. Good morning. Oh, a lot of you too. I didn't know you spoke Chinese, Terry. Trey Gandy, Danny Spell, Larry Lawrence, Daniel Rye. Anybody I missed, good morning. Good morning, everybody logged on over on the Discord app, listening at freedomnetworks.com, and also on YouTube. Thank y'all so much for being there. We got a lot of good things coming, I hope, if we make it through if we make it through the rain, and we'll make it through it somehow. Sometimes you come out on the other side kind of ugly. Wrong sponsors scrolling, I think. Well, let's see here. Wow, they are. Wonder why how did that happen there? That's a good catch, good save. Although I'm sure those sponsors on Larry's shows appreciated the free press. Have we got it right now? Yeah, Doughboy's Pizza. I see that one on there. Don't have my glasses on, can't see it. But thank you for calling that out, Abby. Thanks a lot. I'd put you on payroll if I had one. I'm on the way this week to give a big announcement. All right, Larry, looking forward to that. Give me a little heads up on your way in, brother. You got a standing invitation, as I should say. But appreciate y'all tuning in this morning. All right, what's in the news? Stallone got a tattoo of his wife getting divorced. Got to get it erased. That's the thing about tattoos, right? What else? Student loan handout reaction. People are getting rewarded for doing the least amount. This has been a big thing, and it just the subject is it's pretty bad. Even when Bernie Sanders is wondering how much it's going to cost. You know what I mean? If it's free, it's for me. That's his motto. But even Bernie wants to know. How he thinks it's a legitimate question. How much is it going to cost and how we're going to pay for it? Now, he makes no bones about it. He thinks everybody ought to have free education. But he does think it's a legitimate question. Ask how you going to pay for it and how much is this going to cost? This whole debate around it is just fascinating to watch the reactions of people and the comments people are making on social media, the memes they're spreading. Of course, you can separate the right's position from the left's position. But if you think about it, it's very odd that the Democrats who preach, equality and fairness and things like that, why is it not fair? If you're going to do that, and of course, I'm not promoting doing that. Don't get me wrong. I find it hypocritical that they're going to give $10,000 in relief to people who make $125,000 or less, but they're not going to give any money back to those who fought through it and struggled to get through it and paid back their student loans who make $125,000 or less. And then to make matters worse, they're going to take it. They've taken it out of the taxpayers' coffers in the Department of Education with no way to recoup the money. Now, make no mistake about it. It ain't costing you, the listener, or me, one thin dime. It's just not costing us anything. You got to get in the habit of understanding how this works. Don't say it's costing us taxpayers anything. It's not costing us anything. What it's doing is adding to the debt that we already owe. Now, it has been well established so far that it looks like you and I, the average listener of this show, the average demographic of the show is 45 to 54. The biggest percentage of the audience is males who are 45 to 54, at about 55%, about 45% females age 45 to 54. So the chances are you and I in that category, I'm just out of it, unfortunately. We're not going to have, it's even worse or better, whatever how you look at it. But anybody older than that has a less of a chance to have to pay for it. We just all owe it. What we're doing is saddling our kids and our grandkids with it. They're the ones that's going to have to pay it. So it's not the taxpayers, the current taxpayers aren't going to have to pay it. Us. What's going to the taxpayers is going to have to pay is the next generation. So, Charles says a mind is a terrible thing to waste, but so is my damn tax dollars. Yeah, our tax dollars are the taxes we're paying are for the programs given away by the generation before us. So that's how that works. Anyway, that's just so Brandon Blanton, he says he's 30. He may have to pay it. He may have to pay some of it. The minute they raise our taxes, then you can say the minute they raise our taxes after the day he signed this into law by executive fiat, which this can be unwound, by the way, then you can start saying that you pay them for it. But until then, but until then, you're technically not paying for it. I got to switch my thing over here real quick. Good morning, caller. You're on the Valdosta Transmission Hotline. What's on your mind today?
Morning, sir.
What's happening, man?
Shoot, I ain't even made it to work yet. Dirt road jump after all this rain we had this weekend.
I bet it
forgot to
is.
stop
Yeah.
I forgot to stop and get gas yesterday. So yeah, just off to a roaring start on this Monday morning.
I hear you.
Wanted to touch base a little bit on the student loan deal.
Mhm.
I spent we had a family gathering yesterday, which is always a good thing. But I was talking to one of my cousins, younger cousins, recently out of college, and was picking at him a little bit about our commander in chief or our King Biden knocking that money off his student loan debt.
Mhm.
He started laughing. He said, "Yeah, I can't get none of it." I said, "Really? Why is that?" He said, he looked into it, and it's pretty much it's not for the private sector. It's government funded jobs. Like if you work for a hospital or whatever, your nurses and all, they can get it. If you work for a nonprofit, you can get it. But if you're like he is, a small business owner, no, ain't happening. You ain't getting no damn money.
Yeah, it's possible. I haven't looked. The devil's always in the details, but that would make more sense than anything that it be attached to federal funds. That's why some of the states are filing motions against it and challenging it in court. David Ferrier comments on here, says that's not how fiscal policy works, my guy. Whether it should be or not, it's not. That was an oversimplified explanation of it, but that is how it works. The federal government takes in U.S. tax dollars to pay for every single government funded thing out there. You can go to the U.S. debt clock. There's a great breakdown of exactly how everything is funded. It talks about where the money comes from. U.S. federal tax revenue, corporate tax revenue, income tax revenue, payroll tax revenue. It goes over state debt, U.S. gross domestic product, Social Security, Medicare, defense, interest on the debt. It is a complete breakdown, and the Department of Education funds every single student loan known to man. That is funded directly by our taxpayer dollars. That is exactly how the system works. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. I happen to hold a degree in the subject. So you can disagree, but you'll be wrong. So there that is. But yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of strings on it, about how it's going to be doled out, the income level, if you over 125. One of my biggest beefs with it is the person that took out $30,000 or $40,000 in loans or more and didn't complete the mission. In other words, they didn't get anything for it. It's one thing if you go rack up all that debt and you got your degree, but there's tons of people that don't make it. They get out and take these loans and they owe them back. Do they qualify for it? If the answer is no, then that's good. But it's insulting for me to have to pay someone else's debt, and it's double insulting for me to have to pay your debt if you didn't finish it. You know what I mean?
Well, it's insulting to me because I couldn't afford to go to college, so I chose not to. And now, I mean, I know it's being passed on to our kids and grandkids, but now they're taking my money, and I'm having to pay for somebody else's education.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I look at it. But when I was talking to my cousin yesterday, that tickled me. I mean, and I'm using tickled loosely, but I mean the fact that they're leaving that detail out, it's not for everybody. Only if you work for the government or a nonprofit.
I don't know. I don't know if that's right or wrong, or I don't know, but it does sound logical.
Yeah, and that would also explain why how Biden can pull it off. I mean, remember when the whole mask deal was talking about and was going on, and he put down that everybody still got to wear a mask if you work for a government entity or somebody that gets money from us.
Mm-hmm.
So I and we were like, no, you can't do that. Yeah, you can, because you're getting money from the government. So I guess that's how he's able to do that by executive order. That part there makes sense. That don't look good. Like somebody done tumped over there on Cowart property.
Hmm.
Okay. Anyhow, yeah, I just, that would explain that, whereas, he don't have, they're saying he don't have the power to do this. And I guess this is more shoot herding, the fact that they're leaving that detail out.
Mhm.
But there again, y'all can look into it and make sure I'm right. But, add some more thought to the theory here.
Yeah, I'm looking right here at a very detailed list of some of the things you need to know about the forgiveness. It says who qualifies, and that talks about the income level. It says if you qualify, how much of your debt will be forgiven, and that talks about the $10,000 and up to $20,000 in certain circumstances. What type of student loans are forgiven? The federal student loan system is complicated. Loans come with various names and depending on blah, 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 blah. Okay, so you got Pell Grants, FFELL loans, direct loans such as Parent Plus and Grad Plus, certain loans from the federal Perkins loan program, such as ones held by colleges, may be excluded. All private student loans are also excluded. So if you got a private student loan at the bank, then that you don't get any money to pay that back. You own your own there. Are FFEL loans or Parent Plus loans eligible for forgiveness? You got to contact them to find out. What do I need to do if I qualify? How will this affect my monthly payment? What's the timeline? The income gap for forgiveness is a cap for forgiveness is 125 for tax year 2020 or 2021. So if you're making, if it's 2022 and you're over 125, you still qualify if you were under in 2020 or 2021. Canceled debt is generally taxable, but student loans that are forgiven will be exempt from that tax. It's interesting. Can I get a refund on student loan payments made during the COVID-19 pandemic? You can get a refund for any payment you made. So during the payment pause, which began in March of 2020, you could actually get money back that you paid in. If you responsibly made your payment during the COVID, you can get that money back.
Dang it.
Yeah. If you're still in college, would you be covered for forgiveness? The answer is yes to that. What if I paid off my loans? Do I get anything retroactively? No, this is a one-time student loan cancellation plan. So it doesn't go into detail on that particular side about, what kind of jobs you got and everything. I don't know that that's accurate. I'm gonna have to do some digging in there. I don't, just from reading all that, it doesn't say that, but I don't know. I don't think it's job related. Best I could tell on that is specific to the type loan you got.
He had already looked into it when he found out about it because I don't care who you are or which side of the fence you land on. I mean, 10 grand, 10 grand. And if they're giving out free money, then give me some if I'm qualified. And he said, well, he looked into it. He said, man, there's a lot of people gonna be mad.
I don't doubt that. I can see that from that, but I don't think it's job related. In other words, I think you can, if you're an engineer, under this, let's say you're an engineer for Georgia Power and you got school loans, according to this, if you make less than 125, you qualify.
Right.
So there's probably more details to be had in that, what does he do for a living?
Well drilling service.
Well drilling service.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why. It does seem to be highly dependent on the specific type of federal loan you got. So that could be where he's at, X'd out. I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't ask him if he got a federal loan or a private loan, which if I called his name, you'd know who it was.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody knows McKen, y'all already know who it is. But it was. He was just telling me that it's depending on whether basically if you work in the private sector and whoever you are, or don't work, if you don't work for the government or a government subsidized company or a nonprofit, then you don't get it. But, he didn't say anything about a government loan versus a bank loan.
Yeah, it's probably something to do with the private sector. Then, if I'm just reading between the lines, if you work for the private sector, you may not qualify for the loan. That would be what it is. So, that's I would probably bet that is the case. Most of the time, when the government gives a handout, if you're in private business, you don't get it. So that's probably what it is, if I had to guess.
Yeah, right. Before I get off, I wanted to, talk about the launch this morning or the midday. Is that still morning?
Yes, at noon. It launches at noon today, is what I understand.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, actually, now they've updated. It says between 8:33 a.m. and 10:33 a.m. Eastern.
Oh, cool! I might be able to see that on the way down then.
Yeah, you might. You might. That's right.
But I was after the day I had Saturday, I spent a little bit of time yesterday sitting in front of the TV, relaxing and resting my weary bones. But they had the show I was watching. It was a news channel, and they were talking about the space launch today.
Yeah.
And had an astronaut on there. They was talking to, interviewing, and man, about 2 questions in. I mean, it's straight out of the box, basically. The question started off with, in a world previously dominated by white men.
Yeah.
Dude, I turned the dang TV off.
Yeah.
Can we leave the racist, sexist? Has that got to come up on every frapping conversation we have?
Of course it does. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it does. It has to, because I mean, you're in your day and age when the only thing that matters is winning, and the only two in the game are R's and D's. So they have to have the media working to keep the division alive, so that the shoot herding can continue. You must go here or you must go there, until we realize that ain't working no more. It's just the way it's going to be. We all know that the United States was previously dominated by white people. We know that, but thanks to legislation and thanks to logic, moral compasses, and stuff like that, and the fight for freedom and the spirit to actually uphold the values espoused in the Declaration of Declaration of Independence, we don't live in a day like that. So what good is it to keep hearkening back and reminding us that we did? It's ridiculous.
It is. I mean, I say get off my ass for that stuff. I'm sick of hearing it. I mean, we're beyond all that.
I've never owned a single slave. Never have.
I dang sure ain't. But it just, man, I seen that, and that was actually something I was interested in, and wanted to watch, and thought I might learn a little bit. And then they went there. I'm like, okay, I'm done. I'm done with you. I'm done with y'all. I flipped over and found me a Western to watch.
Yeah. Well, on the student debt, it's about vote getting. Here, I'll give you 10 grand for your vote. Simple as that.
That's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. I mean, I think as a general rule, I mean, I could be wrong on the numbers here, but if I had to guess, I would say that more D's work in the government field and nonprofits than they do in the private sector.
Well, of course they do. It don't take a rocket scientist to figure that out, and they know that. So the more that they expand it, the more votes they're going to get, because most people are not going to cut their nose off in spite of their face. If you are a government employee making $100 grand a year, or 75 a year, or even 50 a year, or even 200 a year, it doesn't matter the amount. Are you going to go vote for somebody that's going to take your job from you? Of course you're not. In general, you're just not going to do that.
Negative, sir.
Yeah.
All right, brother. Well, I've been on here long enough. I'm going to bow out and let somebody else have it. We ain't even got on the road yet. So I don't know how many miles I've covered.
All right, brother. We'll see you later.
Yes, sir. We gone.
All right, bye-bye. 229-469-1417. Somebody said that the media is dominated by left-leaning media. They are. And then Bobby says, pretty sure Fox is number one. They are. Fox is number one. But if you add the problem is what you got on mainstream media. Okay. And I'm not, I wouldn't call Newsmax necessarily at this point mainstream, but I'm going to add it in there. But let's just say Fox, what you got, Fox and Newsmax. And then after that, I mean, it goes, they start getting scarce. Fox dominates cable coverage. Okay. So if you add their numbers and Newsmax together, you get X. Okay. Problem is when you add CBS, NBC, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, all the other broadcasts, then they stomp the Fox News numbers. So the dominant number of media broadcasters and media outlets overwhelmingly is Democrat. Fox may be the number one individual one, but when you got number one and then 2 through 20 is Democrat, then you add all them together, there's way more listeners to the to the liberal media than there are the conservative media, and that's just the way that is. Chicago crime crisis. Suspect brazenly guns down woman outside police station, fires into a building. Lindsey Graham is predicting what will happen if Trump were to be indicted. I saw this headline last night. I never read the article. Going to look into it now. I got some big news in the Alan Rodemaker case coming up at around, I'm going to do it around 7:00 probably. If I hadn't done it by 7:10, y'all remind me. I do want to get that news out there. It's big news in this case. Senator Lindsey Graham, Republican, South Carolina, criticized. Thing blinked up on me. Hold on a minute. Criticized what he viewed as a two-tiered legal system in favor of President Biden and against President Trump on Saturday night in America. Host Trey Gowdy began the segment with a viral clip of Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg revealing on Joe Rogan's podcast that the FBI warned Facebook about Russian propaganda before the 2020 election, leading the tech giant to suppress stories about Hunter Biden's laptop. This news, coupled with reports on the FBI raid on Trump's Mar-a-Lago home, led Graham to suggest that there's a double standard in federal enforcement that could inspire violence in response. Most Republicans, including me, believes when it comes to Trump, there is no law. It's all about getting him. There's a double standard when it comes to Trump. What happened with Hunter Biden is that the FBI weighed in to make sure the story didn't break before the 2020 election. We now have whistleblowers at the FBI telling Chuck Grassley that they were told to slow down and back off Hunter Biden. And I'll say this, if there's a prosecution of Donald Trump for mishandling classified information after the Clinton debacle, there will be riots in the streets. Regarding the FBI, the senator expressed concern over how the law is enforced in politics, especially regarding conservative Republicans. You love the law, and I love the law. I've never been more worried about the law in politics as I am now. How can you tell a conservative Republican that the system works when it comes to President Trump? What happened in Crossfire Hurricane is it was a joke of an investigation. People lied and manipulated the evidence. Look at what happened to Hunter Biden. They gave him a complete pass, apparently, and social media outlets suppressed information that could have mattered. The senator repeated his warning that there would be riots if Trump is prosecuted. If they tried to prosecute President Trump for mishandling classified information after Hillary Clinton set up a server in her basement, there literally will be riots in the street. I worry about the country. So I guess the question is, if he gets indicted, will there be riots in the street? Now, I'm just going to, I could be wrong. I mean, it's going to happen one day, but I'm with Bobby May on this. Nothing's going to happen to Trump. I just don't think, I just don't think he'll be indicted. I don't think their mission is to indict Trump. I don't think their mission is to put him in jail. Their mission is to keep him from running for president in 2024. Now, make no mistake about it. No mistake. If they have to put him in jail to do that, then they probably would. I don't know. I don't know. There won't be riots, but there will be a response. Yeah, I do. I'll be honest with you. I don't know that there won't be some gatherings, protests that could get out of hand and turn into a riot. But my gut is that it'll stop short of the riot. I think Renee's right on that. So the Secret Service go to jail with him? Oh, good question. Good question. I don't know. I think their mission is to try to keep him from running, keep him bogged down in a bunch of crap where he'll say, I'm not going to run. And once he announces that, it'll go away. It'll go away. It'll be pretty much politics as usual. He'll still have a voice, and he'll be out there stumping for candidates, and he'll be a formidable force and all that. But they're going to breathe a deep sigh of relief once they get him to utter the words, I'm not running. And because he's a problem right now, he's got a tremendous amount of sway in the party, and they're having trouble combating that. So we'll see what happens with that. What else? Repeat offender arrested for abandoning sick puppy in dumpster. Man, what a maggot to do something like that. WAPO claims libs of TikTok falsely suggested hospital provided hysterectomies for children, despite website promoting procedure. Yeah, well, y'all can read that if you want. Celebrities, they had their VMA awards last night. Somebody took the time, as they usually do, to go political. I'm not going to give them the free press here on my show. If y'all want to talk about it, that's fine. You can call in, but I'm not going to start that conversation. Afghanistan has now fallen right back into the hands of the Taliban. They're revoking women's rights. So, everybody on the right tried to tell the left that was going to be the end result. You don't see anybody on CNN, MSNBC, any of these liberal networks talking about what's going on in Afghanistan, because that don't need to come up right here before November the 8th for them. Not that they care. I don't know. This was the dumbest thing that you could possibly. There's not even a junior ranking senator or congressman on the state level that would have pulled our troops out of Afghanistan in the manner of which Joe Biden did it, unless it was purely some sort of vote harvesting decision, which it was. I don't know, man. It was it was easy to see, and then we leave $60 billion worth of equipment back there or whatever. I check the number there. I'm just throwing one out, but it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Not only did it cost us money, all the ground that all the blood, sweat, and tears gained over the past years were lost in this tragic withdrawal. And during the withdrawal, we lost 13 souls. 13 American soldiers lost their lives. And it's like the administration, they just don't even, I'm not going to say they don't care, but they don't even talk about it. I don't know. I don't know. 229-469-1417. It's really a head scratcher as to why. The only reason, I don't know. Yeah, y'all figure it out. I can't. I don't know why anybody would ever vote Democrat. And now I've reached the fact that I don't know why anybody would ever vote Republican, except to stop the Democrats. I get it, or at least give the illusion that you're stopping the Democrats or stopping the advancement of the current ideology in the country. I don't know. It's mind numbing at the moment. I want to read an article I found on during my research last night about Elon Musk. You know, Elon Musk has been somehow elevated as some seemingly political guru now. But so when he says something, people listen. But this is what he said in Norway yesterday, I believe it was, or maybe early this morning. I don't know what day it is in Norway. The world must continue to extract oil and gas in order to sustain civilization while also developing sustainable sources of energy, Tesla founder Elon Musk told reporters at a conference in Norway. Now, here's what I don't understand. Me, along with almost every single listener on this program, may not have worded that way, but we've thought that and talked about it forever. Everybody knows this. Everybody knows that we should keep using oil and gas while at the same time it's okay to develop sustainable sources of energy. Nobody has a problem with that. I think most of the people are smart enough to figure that out, right? I don't know. Richard Todd says, Steve, you might say that, but I'm making the public proclamation that indeed this administration doesn't care one iota for those fallen military personnel. I don't know. I mean, it's coordinated. It's perspective. I think individually, I think it's acceptable to them. I think that's what you mean, maybe. It's not acceptable to me and you. I think it's a tragic thing that happened in their eyes, but you know, it's just acceptable because we had to get the people out. That's the way they see it. But I do think that I hope that they do care that people died. Maybe they don't. Maybe you're right. Realistically, I think we need to use oil and gas in the short term because otherwise civilization will crumble. Asked if Norway should continue to drill for oil and gas, I think some additional exploration is warranted at this time. Yeah, I think we should be pumping the oil. So it's pretty dangerous when we rely on celebrities, and Elon Musk has now elevated himself to celebrity status. And we listen to these celebrities and we don't listen to people like me and you who have been saying this for, I don't know how long. Abby Pearson, NASCAR was hilarious yesterday. If we had a race update person, it would have been hilarious. I could have the audience a good laugh. I don't know what happened in the race yesterday. I haven't. I honestly wouldn't have known that they still did NASCAR if it wasn't for some of the comments I see on Facebook or here on the show. It's just totally non-interesting to me. And then I see comments from people that do watch it. They criticize it and they're aggravated with it. And I'm wondering, well, why y'all still watching it? But I guess, I don't know. I guess that's the same reason I watch football on occasion. Story I heard today that Navy military whom didn't get shot or locked down. Yeah, I read that. Separated from the rest, living in poor dorm setting. They can't talk about it. No religious exemption. I'll be researching more on it. Heard Tucker got wind of it. Yeah, we'll be watching for that. But I've been reading a few stories about that as well. T-Rex Trump was a celebrity. Yeah, he was a celebrity. That's right. People listen to him. That's a great point. That is my point. You know, why are we listening to these celebrities who are out of touch in most cases? He's a legend in his own mind for sure. I guess he's talking about Elon Musk. The media's elevated him to that. China audit agreement not yet a done deal, lawyers warn. That's something to do with the market. Speaking of the market, the Dow Jones took a tank on Friday, down over 1,000 points. I think NASDAQ lost like 4% of its volume. It's crazy. Wall Street fear gauge has hit a 7-week high. The CBOE's volatility index is what it's called. Wall Street's fear gauge hit a 7-week high on Monday morning on mounting risk of more aggressive rate hikes from the Federal Reserve. This is I don't understand that. It says a mounting risk of more aggressive rate hikes. I don't know what they're paying attention to, but there's no mounting risk. It's a given fact. They're telling us that they're raising rates. So it's not a risk that they are raising the rates. That's a weird comment from somebody that's supposed to be a market hawk that watches it. I don't know. Anyway, it jumped 7.4 points to 27.46, its highest level since July the 14th, whatever that means. But some of this stuff just kind of makes me crack up. What else? Abby says, Jeff Miller, you don't have anything to say about your Wildcats. That's the Wildcats won, I think, what was it, 34-7, 38-7 over Cook. Cook played well, though. That's tough to go into Valdosta's Death Valley when you a small school like Cook. I thought they did really well. And I think the Cook County Hornets high school football schedule looks pretty favorable for them to make a good playoff run. We'll see. 34-7 is what that score was. And then Lowndes won big over Gadsden. Well, I don't remember that score neither. I just know they blanked them and there wasn't no threat. So we'll see how they fare. You can tune into Larry's show on Thursday night to see everything about the Vikings on the Viking Nation. Still looking for somebody to do the Wildcat Nation show, or you can name it whatever you want. But if you want to do a show about the Wildcats, ask Steve Nichols at gmail.com. We'll put you on. 33-0. Corey says the Vikings score. The Georgia Bulldogs play this weekend. They play Oregon. Oregon's ranked. Georgia's ranked. Should be a good game. Tough opponent right out of the gate. You'll get a little bit of taste to see what the Bulldogs are going to have in store in their title defense season. Richard Todd, we don't need that nonsense on here. Stop it. What else is going on here? Dollar hits a 20-year high as markets hunker down for higher rates for longer. The U.S. dollar climbed to a 20-year high against other major currencies on Monday after Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell signaled interest rates would be kept higher for longer to bring down soaring inflation. Now, what you're starting to see is the Democrats slowly starting to try to find something other than themselves to blame inflation on. They're blaming Jerome Powell. They're blaming the Fed. Elizabeth Warren came out yesterday and attacked the Fed for their policy and saying that they're going to cause a recession. Now, we are in a recession already by definition. 2 quarters of negative growth would indicate that we are. So they got to find a fall guy. It's becoming evident that this third quarter GDP report is not going to look good. And as a result, they got to find something to blame that on. The only thing that they can logically decide to blame it on would be that the public might buy. When I say the public, their side of the voting pool, their chute, is that it's Jerome Powell's fault. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's see here. Cook played hard. They should do well in their classification. Yeah, I do too. I agree. Sarge, while I'm thinking about it, if you can go, after the show or something, when you get a minute, Renee usually posts some good articles on the Freedom with Steve Nichols page. She'll tag it in there. She's lost the ability to do that. And if you could check on that for me, that'd be great. I don't know if they like she said, they may have restricted her on her end. But I want to make sure it's we've got it set to where she can still do it. It's not nothing on our end. I don't think it could be, but you're the man for that job. So please let me know what's going on with that when you can. Europe's gas crisis could last several winters, Shell CEO says. Man, I got an email from a listener over in Germany that said that they call it an energy bill, has tripled the last 3 months. That's horrible. I don't know how I'd survive that. Europe could face several winters of gas shortages as a result of the cuts to Russian supplies. Shell Chief Executive Ben van Beurden said, it may well be that we will have a number of winters where we have to somehow find solutions. Tough times over there, folks. Tough times. What else here? Let's go back over here. Let's look on CNN. They're talking about the launch from 8:30 to 10:30. Now this is going to the moon. So the article is entitled "Why NASA Wants to Return to the Moon Before Sending Humans to Mars." Before landing the first humans on Mars, NASA wants to return to the lunar surface, but in a way that we've never explored the moon before. When the uncrewed Artemis 1 mission launches on Monday, it's just the first step toward the future of space exploration. The last crewed landing on the moon, Apollo 17, was nearly 50 years ago. The final Apollo mission's record for the longest crewed deep space flight still stands at 12 and a half days. Through the Artemis program, which aims to land humans at the unexplored lunar South Pole and eventually on Mars, astronauts will go on long-duration deep space missions that test all of the bounds of exploration. We're going back to the moon in order to learn, to live, to work, to survive. That's interesting. So we're going to watch that. More tax dollars going up in space into thin air. Aaron says, "Yeah, that's literally right there. Literally, that's funny. Why is it so important? Well, Senator Rubio made some comments on that. In 1962, President John F. Kennedy said the United States was not built by those who waited and rested and wished to look behind them. This country was conquered by those who moved forward, and so will space. 60 years later, after sending men to the moon, spearheading the International Space Station, and crafting a space telescope that can see billions of years into the past, America is still moving forward. Our scientific and technological progress will be on full display when we launch Artemis. Artemis 1's purpose is to send an unmanned spacecraft to orbit the moon, but that will only be the beginning. Artemis 1 is the first in a series of new moon missions, which will hopefully culminate in a manned landing in 2025. Even after decades of space exploration, these feats continue to inspire and astound. They show the power of human effort and ingenuity, and they bring invaluable new knowledge of our beautiful, mysterious universe. Y'all can keep reading that. I think got to where I don't want to read it anymore. It's giving me a headache. We should all watch Apollo 13 today. Great movie. That is a good movie. Lee Corso seemed very confused and dazed on College game day. Sad to watch his decline. Hope he retires. I didn't get to watch game day on Saturday. I had other things going on. A little fence issue. What else? Why China's response to U.S. warships in Taiwan Strait surprised analysts. I don't know what the response was, but y'all can read that if you want to. Unexpected impact of Western sanctions on Russia. That's all opinion stuff. So I don't really get into too much of opinion articles. Sometimes I do, but not really. What's at stake? What's really at stake when top secrets are stored at Mar-a-Lago? This is an opinion piece too. I might find that mildly interesting on some days. Mississippi residents are once again fleeing rising river waters. Lots of flooding. Speaking of flooding, it's been wet. I'm about sick of the freaking rain. Golly. Corey West says, no one's ever been to the moon. That's funny. Daryl says, what about the dark side of the moon? I don't know. We should all just sit and do what I said, bark at the moon. All right, I'm going to take a quick break, go fill my coffee coffee cup back up. And when I get back, I'm going to give you the latest news on the Alan Rodemaker situation and give you a little commentary. This will be an opinion piece somewhat. I'll give you some facts. I'll lace my opinion in there, and you guys can take it for what it's worth. But hang in there. We'll be right back. Stay tuned.
Well, 1 hour is gone. If you made it this far, you are an official freedom fighter. Don't forget to visit freedomnetworks.com. Click on featured advertisers and support these businesses. They can advertise anywhere. They choose this show as a way to support the effort of preserving and defending freedom. Now, back to the show with Steve.
All right, back on Freedom with Steve Nichols. I appreciate y'all tuning in. We're here on the freedomnetworks.com site. We're on YouTube. We're at the Discord app, and we're also on Facebook at Freedom with Steve Nichols. So y'all find a way to find it. Always start with freedomnetworks.com. That is spelled with an X, NETWORX.com. Many recall that Coach Alan Rodemaker, the former Wildcat football coach, was fired by the board with no explanation. It's been a couple of years, 3 years. I don't know. This time marches on. There was a lawsuit filed, discrimination lawsuit filed, because of the way that it all went down and the way it was viewed. Me included. I draw a conclusion based on information that's in front of my face. And I believe he was discriminated against. I don't think it was hate filled. I just simply believe, in my humble personal opinion, that they literally didn't want a white football coach no more. They wanted to hire a black football coach. That's just what I believe. Now you can make that as ugly as you want. Me particularly, I don't choose to make that part all that ugly. I just simply know that discrimination is against the law, and if you discriminate, then you open yourself up to a lawsuit. And one was filed. It's been in the court. There's been motions. There's been things that have been allowed, things that have been thrown out. Excuse me. In this particular case, there was a lot of people had opinions, and one of those people that had an opinion that put it out there like that, this person put things other than an opinion out there. The judge found. Ernest, man, my phone keeps blinking off, and I'm using it to read from the screenshot that I took of the order. Get back over to it. The defendant, who is Ernest James Usher, I believe he went by the Speak Easy on social media or whatever. Anyway, he put some things out there accusing Coach Rodemaker of some things, and you can read that. I'm not going to go down the list of it, but in my analysis, I thought, well, he's just trying to put the reasons out there that he might have been fired for to camouflage the what I believe, in my opinion, was discriminatory, and he just flat out lied. The court found that these allegations that Usher put on social media were false, and as a result, the court awarded that Mr. Usher owes Alan Rodemaker, and Leah Rodemaker, I guess, is the in this case, $250,000. So the judge has awarded the Rodemakers $250,000 on the defamation lawsuit filed against Mr. Usher. The significance of this is, to me, is it takes away any kind of the rumors that were out there that Coach Rodemaker did some things that Usher and others said that he did. It was found by the court that he did not do those things, and that is monumental. So now there are no reasons out there. The court has found that those specific reasons in that lawsuit were found to be bullshit. Simple as that. So those reasons can't be the reason. So there's a reason Coach Rodemaker was let go. We might think we know the reason, but we know now what reasons he wasn't fired for, because those things didn't happen according to the findings of the court. So it is huge, 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 huge. It's a huge ruling. There's still 5 other pending suits. Now, what will happen? I have no earthly idea. Will it get to trial? Don't know. Will it be settled? Don't know. Will it be dropped? Don't know. Will it be thrown out? Don't know. But I got sense enough to know this. This order is big in this case. Big. Because if you followed the case, it, again, beating a dead horse, it tears down nearly all the reasons that some people tried to throw out there on social media as to the reason he was let go. The court has found those reasons to be absolutely, categorically false. So, why was he let go? Why was he let go? I think it's pretty obvious why he was let go. So we'll see. We'll keep you updated. But that's the latest on what happened or what has happened in the Alan Rodemaker scenario. If you want to talk about that, I'm all ears. I want your opinion. I don't care what side of it you're on. I'm open-minded to hear anything. One of the things that will come up is that, you don't have to have necessarily a reason to fire anybody. You can let anybody go for any reason. And that's true, but you can't discriminate. And it would appear that that's the possibility. Now, everybody can look at and weigh the reasons, but I do know this. There were a ton of people defending the board from the aspect of, well, he did this, he charged this, he said this, or he did this. And the court found that to not be true, and they penalized Usher for saying it and defaming the Rodemakers. And they said, you know what? For what you did, you now owe the Rodemakers $250,000. That is so ordered. So there you go. That's where we're at. still 4 or 5 pending lawsuits, and I'll keep you updated as I get information in. But 229-469-1417 if you want to have a comment on that or talk about it or talk about anything else. We can talk about student loan debt, taxes, abortion, gun control. I don't care what you want to talk about. It's up to you. Let's do the weather. Cloudy this morning with thunderstorms developing this afternoon, high of 87 degrees. Winds are light and variable. The chance of rain is 80%, so it's probably going to be a rainy day. Partly to mostly cloudy tonight. A stray shower or thunderstorm is possible. Winds light and variable with a low of 72 degrees. That is your Recycle Center of Quitman weather report. They're located at 900 Boundary Street in Quitman. They open at 9 a.m. this morning. You can give them a call at 229-563-5300 for all your recycling needs. The Fish and Game report looking pretty good late in the evening. It right at dark, it gets up into the good range. It's way up in the good range at 4 p.m. It's the highest up into the good range, almost excellent at 4 a.m. in the morning. But there are, there are 4 humps into the good range: 4 a.m., 9 a.m., 4 p.m., and about 9 p.m. So you guys get out there and fish and brave that weather if you can. Tony Fulp says it's wet in Cecil. I concur, my man. It is too wet. So it's very muggy too, man. Very humid, very just nasty outside, man. So no, Danny Spell, his contract was not up. They fired him, terminated him. NASA ready to or I guess they said they're not going to be renewing his contract. I guess maybe that's the correct. I'd have to go back and look at the specifics there. But no, his contract was not up. NASA ready to launch new era of exploration. That is the BBC's headline. Their lead story, again, a foreign country leading off instead of news about their country. They're going to lead off with news about our country. Everybody wants to know what's going on in America. Good morning, caller. You're on the Valdosta Transmission Hotline. What's on your mind?
Good morning. Right now, it's apparently everybody got in their car and went to work before they woke up because some of them ain't driving real good this morning yet.
coming off a weekend
the
there.
Monday blues or what?
They're coming off a weekend. That's exactly right.
So be careful. There's Sleepy Joe drivers and there's fog.
Yep.
But anyway, yeah, good for the Rodemaker's. I think it's fairly obvious way all that played out. It's been talked about as you have in the past, but on his son, I wish he would get the mental bugs out of his mind. He had a terrible outing, unfortunately. Saturday night for Florida State after the 90-minute lightning delay. My boys and my daughter went. I did not go.
What was the scrimmage game? Was it a scrimmage game?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Well, their first games.
They played Duquesne.
Oh, so that was their season opener.
Yes, it was. We play LSU in New Orleans this week.
Huh? How about that?
And if we're playing LSU at the end of the year, we'd get whipped badly. I think since the LSU has that new coach Kelly, and they got a bunch of new players that hadn't played together yet, so it might be a good, fun, interesting game. But they got the home crowd and all that. But Florida State is actually better and improved, and they'll do better finally. But they got ways to go.
So how bad did
Duquesne
beat Florida State Saturday?
That would be negative 47-7.
Florida State lost 47-7.
Yeah, right. Anyway.
No, I'm serious. I hadn't heard the score.
No, they won.
Oh, they won. Okay, I didn't know.
They had 3 100-yard rushers. I mean, Duquesne is terrible. You know how bad it is when teams like Florida that got beat by whoever it was, Georgia State or Georgia Southern that one time, or whoever it was, and like we got beat by who was it? One of those lowly teams. You know how that happens every now and then. Alabama got beat by some FCS school.
I'm totally kidding. I did not hear I did not hear the score, but I did know that Florida State was going to beat Duquesne. I just didn't know the score. So.
Yeah, I know you knew. I think they're better off, but who they were playing they'd have been better off playing a scrimmage game. We'll put it that way.
Yeah.
But in the past, that wasn't necessarily the case. The last 5 years have been dreadful, and I think they're on the uptick. But
did the starting quarterback look okay?
He looked good. Unfortunately, Rodemaker, they said, had a great spring and a great fall and was just shining like a dime. And they was actually thinking, no problem him coming in. But unfortunately, he just some of them have the in-game mindset, and some of them don't. Unfortunately, he just struggles when he gets in a real game. And I hope he gets it. It's mental. It's not physical. It's not ability. He just.
Well, I think he's a red shirt sophomore, if memory serves me correctly. So he's got plenty.
Right.
He's got 3 years. Yeah.
Psychologists, whoever, they'll get him worked out. He'll be all right.
It'll be fun. So y'all play LSU next Sunday, September 4th.
Yeah, Sunday night.
And that's at LSU, so that's gonna be an uphill climb. But I will be pulling for Florida State. I guarantee you. I ain't pulling for LSU. I'm pulling for the Seminoles. Ain't no doubt about it.
It'd be in New Orleans, not Baton Rouge, but it's still the same thing, pretty much.
Yeah, that's true.
The
same
dome
thing.
The dome is a god awful place to go. That's ridiculous. You go straight up a flight of stairs and it looks like you're about to fall over into the stadium. It's
Cajun country. Cajun country. Either way you look. I'm looking at their schedule here, and I will say this: I will be for every single Florida State game this year. Let me make sure that I'm not telling the story here. Well, now my thing got all messed up, but I don't know what happened there. This computer keeps jumping around. But as far as I can tell on the schedule, I will be pulling for Florida State in every single game, every single regular season game they have this year. Go Noles.
Yeah. They had a lot of bad apples in the group, and they got rid of them. I think you've seen teams do that in the past where they have a bunch of me players and not playing together as a team and all that. It happens, but they're in a lot better shape. But enough of Florida State for now. Their football this weekend will be much better because everybody starts playing this in the next week. So it'll be a lot more entertaining. I love a good game. I don't care who's playing.
I hear you.
I will be watching. It's a great weekend for me coming up because I'm going to Panama City Friday on my motorcycle and got 2 grandbabies that just turned 1. So
that'd be fun.
September 5th, the next day is Labor Day. I'm taking off. My better half's birthday. So good weekend planned ahead if I can get to it, get work done. But Saturday was a good day. The rain held off. We had an honors ride, Folds of Honor, which was scholarships for children of veterans. I met Renee Joan Newfer there. First time I'd met her in person. I've seen her, but first time we'd met, she helped out with the cause. A big group of us rode and made some money. They made a ton of good money, and it was a fun, good event. We ended up at Cowboys, had some good food and drink and so forth. So that was a good time. And I think she did another Jeep event. She's into that.
Absolutely.
But it was a great day. The weather held off, so money was made. And for my brand of Indian motorcycle, there were some YouTube people that came down and did some things, 2 or 3. So it was kind of a fun event for me because there's not many of us in the Indian realm. But nonetheless, it was a good day and money was raised. So
good deal. Good deal. I appreciate y'all doing that, man. Y'all are great Americans.
Yeah, I like to ride. If I can find a way and a reason to go, I go. But it's hot sometimes in the summer, regardless. So
10-4, my brother. Well, I appreciate the call this morning.
Day, and I will quit rambling on about stuff that half these people don't care about.
See you later, man.
See you later.
All right. 229-469-1417. If you got anything on your mind, we'll cover it right here on freedomnetworks.com, the Freedom with Steve Nichols show. So there you go. Yeah, the election coming up, I think, what are we? But we're like 70 days away or so. I don't know. It's getting close. People, today is August the 29th. We're almost done with the entire month of August. We're almost done with the year. I mean, time is just screaming by now. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older and it's just flying by, and we're running. We are literally, every day we wake up, we're literally one step closer to the grave. I don't want to sound morbid or terrible, but we are. We need to be living our lives and, doing things. That's something that's really nailing me right square in the face right now. You got to get things right, and you don't have the promise of tomorrow. So the urgency to make sure everything is there's nothing left unsaid. There's nothing left owed or owed to you or got to take care of you got to take care of your house, your temple, yourself. Okay. And I just, you know, I just hadn't done a good job of it, frankly. You know, you think about, you know, what you want to do in this life and how you want to get it. You get so passionate about something. Maybe you get a little too passionate about it. Maybe you make some careless mistakes and make some decisions that you probably shouldn't have made in order to make sure you know, that dream's alive. There's just a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things. And if you find yourself today, I'm just going to try to encourage everybody, because I need the encouragement too. If you find yourself in a situation where you didn't quite do the right thing to get where you are, fix it. You know, hell, it may be hard, you know, but find a way to fix it. Start working towards fixing it. I guess that's all you can do. What else is on the news? FBI response to claim agency's warning led to Facebook limiting Hunter laptop story. Biden's dumb, dangerous Afghanistan decision. It will haunt us for decades. That's an opinion piece that I probably agree with. The Beatles played their last live paid concert on this day in history, August 29th, 1966, a couple of months before I entered the planet. I don't care about the Beatles. I ain't got nothing for the Beatles. I'm just going to say it. Now, this might make some people mad. Some people won't care. I particularly am just comfortable saying it out loud. The Beatles suck. I don't like them. That is about the dumbest music on the face of the planet. If you love them or like them, I don't have no problem with you. I just don't understand you. I mean, that music sucks. It sucks. I'm sorry. MTV Video Music Awards 2022, the best fashion from the red carpet. That's a article on CNN. If you want to get into that, look at it. Mississippi residents, I said that about the rising floodwaters, very dangerous situation out there. Bad. Back over on the BBC, the EU, European Union, faces awful winters without the gas cap. That's coming from the minister. That's going to be tough times over there. Dutch commando dies after shooting outside a U.S. hotel. Insults thrown in first Brazil election TV debate. I wonder what kind of insults they chunk at each other over there. Bolsonaro and Lula trade insults. Mr. Bolsonaro accused the former president of having led the most corrupt government in Brazil's history. Lula in turn said Mr. Bolsonaro had destroyed Brazil. Opinion polls suggest Lula, who served as president from 2003 to 10, is ahead in the race, but the gap between the two candidates seems to be narrowing. On Sunday, the two frontrunners appeared on TV in Sao Paulo, along with four other presidential candidates. Mr. Bolsonaro, 67, wasted no time in targeting Lula, who is 76. Your government was the most corrupt in Brazilian history, he said. The insult was a reference to Lula being convicted of corruption and jailed in 2018. Let me back up and look at this right here for a second. It says Lula, opinion polls suggest Lula is the front runner, and Mr. Lula has been convicted of corruption and jailed in 2018. The corruption scandal came to be known as Operation Car Wash and involved the state-run oil giant Petrobras, Petrobras. The judgment against Lula was later overturned. Okay. What do you want to come back to power for? To do the same thing Petrobras again? Mr. Bolsonaro asked. Lula retaliated, accusing Mr. Bolsonaro of spreading lies and trashing his presidential legacy. First round of the election will be held on October 2nd. That sounds like a barn burner right there now. That's entertainment. World's loneliest man and last of his tribe dies. This is interesting to me. The last remaining member of an uncontacted indigenous group in Brazil has died. The man, whose name was not known, had lived in total isolation for the past 26 years. He was known as Man of the Hole because he dug deep holes, some of which he used to trap animals, while others appear to be hiding places. His body was found on the 23rd of August in a hammock outside his straw hut. There were no signs of violence. The man was the last of an indigenous group whose other remaining 6 members were killed in 1995. The group lived in the Tanaru indigenous area in the state of Rondônia, which borders Bolivia. The man of the hole is thought to have been about 60 years old and to have died of natural causes. There were no signs of any incursions in his territory. Nothing in his hut had been disturbed, officials said, but police will still carry out a post-mortem investigation. Under Brazil's constitution, indigenous people have a right to their traditional land, so those wanting to seize it have been known to kill them. The man of the hole had been monitored for his own safety by agents from Brazil's Indigenous Affairs Agency since 1996. In 2018, members of FUNAI managed to film the man during a chance encounter in the jungle. In the footage, it can be seen hacking at a tree with something resembling an axe. There had been no sighting of him since, but FUNAI agents did come across his huts, which were built from straw and the deep holes he dug. Some of them had sharpened spikes at the bottom and are thought to be traps for hunting animals, while others are believed to be hiding spaces he used when outsiders approached. Evidence found at his huts and campsites suggests he planted maize and manioc and fruits such as papaya and bananas. There are about 240 indigenous tribes in Brazil. Isn't it amazing that we live on a planet that is so big, and even though we have so much sprawl, so much population increase, there's still untamed, unconquered, uncharted places in the Brazilian forest where a whole indigenous people live, 240 different tribes that don't know anything about what's going on in the real world. I don't know. That's strange to me. Not strange, just strange is a bad word. Fascinating, I guess I should say. Let me see here. I don't know. Do me a favor and open the door. What door? What are y'all talking about? Somebody knocking at the door. Somebody rings the bell. I don't know what all that is. Some sort of song, I guess. How can MTV have music awards when they haven't played music since the 1900s? The 1900s. MTV came out in what? When did they come out? They came out in like 1985 or something, didn't they? Or somewhere along. I don't know. Oh, I get it now. Y'all singing. Y'all got a lyric train going. Is that the Beatles? I don't know. I am not up on my Beatles music, that's for sure. I can't stand them. Does anybody like the Beatles? Did anybody comment on that? Did anybody get mad at me? Classic holds up to this very day. Just like the Pink Floyd caller the other day, if we avoided every single artist and business that we didn't like their politics, it would be an extremely limit. You're right about that. There's no doubt. Sherry, I like wings. Don't need no McCartney with my wings, just some ranch dressing. Yet they have been selling their music for 60 years. Oh, yeah, there ain't no doubt. I mean, that somebody likes them. Steve, you say this, but you like Bruce Springsteen. I did not say I like Bruce Springsteen. I like his music. If you can see a similarity between Bruce Springsteen's music and the Beatles' music, I don't know what the hell you listened to, Richard. I don't dislike the Beatles because of their political stance. Their music sucks. They can't sing. It just sucks. Just by opinion. You don't have to subscribe to it. Good morning, caller. You are on the Valdosta Transmission Hotline. What's on your mind today?
Hey, Jude, don't bring me down. You telling me you don't like that?
Hell no, I don't like that. It sucks.
Neither do I. I think it sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it just, I can't turn the dial off fast enough if I'm listening to a station and a Beatles song comes on. I can't. I'm sure there's one out there I can tolerate, but overall, they sucks.
I like the guitar slashing in Helter Skelter. I have to admit that. I thought that was a pretty cool song. Kind
Yeah,
of ahead of its time.
I'd have to hear it. I can't. I don't know how that goes, but
Pretty wild. Pretty wild.
yeah.
But MTV came online, sir, August 1st, 1981. That happened to be the year I turned 18 years old. So I have come of age with MTV. Yeah. And it sucks too now.
I used to, I've never actually watched. I mean, I'd watch the music videos on MTV, but I don't even. Is it still even on? I guess it is, isn't it? Or they wouldn't be having these awards.
Yeah, I mean, I see it when I'm scrolling through the guide. I've got Dish, but I don't watch it. They don't play videos on it anymore, I don't believe, and not that I know any current artists. I fell out of the music world at about, I guess, the mid '90s. I left it and ain't been back. I listened to a little of the new country there for a while in the early 21st century. A lot of the new country, they were their lyrics, they were reminiscing about the 80s songs that I grew up with. It was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, a lot of them. I know Jake Owen did a song. It was a kind of an ode to the song Jack and Diane from Mellencamp back in the day.
Who did that?
Jake Owen. He did one. It's called When I Was Jack and You Were Diane, and it kind of had the same music and melody. I don't know, I'm not a music guy, but
yeah, I think I have heard that. And Kenny Chesney put it in one of his songs.
He did.
Jack and Diane.
That's right, he did. Yep. So they paid tribute to the, that's right. Yeah. Paid tribute to the old guard there, but
I Go Back. That was the name of that song. I really like that song. I like Kenny Chesney. That I always say I would never go to a concert, but I might drop a bill to go see him if it was an outdoor venue near a beach somewhere.
Mm-hmm. That'd be a very entertaining concert. Water Jug just said, please tell me Steve wasn't dogging my boys, the Red Hot Chili Peppers. No, they hadn't came up, but I don't have a problem with the Peppers. I don't like all their songs, but I ain't got no problem with them. They don't suck like the Beatles does,
How'd you like that song I sent you? I bet you didn't listen to
by Kicks. I did too. I did. I was like, at first I was mildly offended when I read Mighty Mouth, but then after I heard the song, I realized you were saying I have a mighty mouth. It was actually a compliment. That's the way I twisted myself into taking it.
You're a presence.
I'm a presence.
Formidable presence.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
If you read the lyrics, that's what the song's about.
That's right. It is. Yeah, it is. But yeah, I enjoy it. That's the first time I'd ever heard it.
Well, that song comes from and I got to tell you, Mr. Glenn Tyler got me off on the Kicks nostalgic kick a little for about an hour this weekend. I went back and listened to some that Kicks album that came off of. I think it's called Cool Kids, and it has some good music on it. That guy sings a little too high for my. There's not enough bass in it, but the melodies and there's very few albums that you could get 10 good songs on it, and just about all the songs on that album are good. And Kicks is an old Maryland band of all things, and I was surprised Glenn Tyler was familiar with them.
Glenn is he is a music aficionado. He's like me a lot, or I'm like him, depending on how you would look at it. I'd probably say it that way. I'm probably like him. But anyway, he listens to a broad range of music like I do. I mean, I enjoy country music. I enjoy rock music. I enjoy pop music. I enjoy rap music. And when I say that, it's not all songs, but I can always find something good somewhere, except the Beatles album. I've yet to be able to find anything redeeming about a Beatles album. They just sucks. I can't say it strongly enough. They sucks. They just do.
Yeah, they put the drag on me too. I never liked them.
Yeah.
Now I do say I like the Who. I never liked the Stones that much. They had a couple good ones, but I liked a lot of the Who songs.
I like some of the Who songs. My uncle's a rabid Who fan, has been to multiple concerts of the Who. I would never pay money to go see them, but I do like a couple of their songs. The CSI opener, that they Who Are You or whatever. That's a good song.
Man.
Pete Townsend. Pete Townsend, I like he as a solo artist, he released a song called "Let My Love Open the Door." I thought it was pretty catchy.
That was great. That was back in the late '70s, early '80s.
That's
I
right.
remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I like, I could deal with a lot of different music.
It looks like
and-
I'm losing you. I'm in the Hithers. I
All
was
right.
going to give you the Alapaha River report, but I'm not going to make it. It looks like.
All right, man. See you later.
All right.
All right. Bye. We can't depend on his Alapaha River report. We've already established that. He's got a long way to go redeeming himself. Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd. I like some of all their songs. I'm trying to read some of the Eminence Front is a great song. Thanks, Word Policies. Red Hot Chili Peppers, Can't Beat 80s Music. Yeah, Randy Dalton and I, we grew up in the 80s, baby. We were at Lowndes High School, roaming the halls. Styx, Rush, Waylon and Willie. I like all of them. John Mellencamp. We're on this topic. What do y'all like? What else y'all like? What is there anybody out there that you just can't stand? And I'm not. Listen, take the politics out of it, because let's just be honest. If you're going to judge a musician by their politics or an actor by their politics, you don't like none of them. None of them. Maybe there's a few, but they all they don't think like you do politically. So take the politics out of it. Concentrate on the music, the songs, the word, the voice, the sound. Is there anybody out there who's the number one group or singer you just cannot stand? You just can't stand them when it just turns your stomach. Who is it? That's what I want to know. The Alapaha's full, Glenn Tyler says, which makes sense with all the rain we've had, right? Big B says, I can't stand Barbara Mandrell or Glenn Campbell. I ain't gonna bash you about Mandrell, but B, you can't stand Glenn Campbell? Gentle on My Mind. I'm a lineman for the cat. What the heck, man? You can't stand Glenn Campbell? Oh man, James Water Joe says I can't stand John Mayer. Yeah, I don't like him. Dolly Parton met her in real life. Total bitch, really. Elvis was the best. I can't argue with that. Kevin says Backstreet Boys, any of that 90s pop, I'm not a fan of. Okay. Beyonce, Cardi B, Doja Cat, Ariana Grande. I don't even know who. I've heard of Beyonce, Doja Cat, Ariana Grande, Cardi B. Yeah, turn the channel every time they come on. B. Glenn Campbell. Jason Ramsey Trey says can't stand Cher. Okay. Absolutely, Steve. Springsteen monumentally sucks. I get it. I feel that. I'll tell you somebody else that I can't stand. As soon as I hear his voice, Bob Dylan, I'm turning it, son. That is not singing. I don't know what that is, but it ain't singing. It's horrible. Journey, Whitney, and Bon Jovi. Abby, what the hell? You don't like Journey, Whitney, and Bon Jovi? What? Abby, what the hell? Bobby May says Dylan was a poet, not a singer. I'll go along with that now. If I could read the words that Dylan wrote, I might could have a respect for it. How do y'all feel about Neil Diamond? Tim Huff says. Well, I ain't no huge Diamond fan, but I can get along with some of his songs, Good morning, caller on the Valdosta transmission hotline. What's on your mind? Hey, stop that. I'm going to hang up. No, I can't take it. I can't take that. No. I don't want to hear impressions of buckwheat unless it's by Eddie Murphy, okay?
I was trying to do Bob Dylan.
Yeah, but he sounds like buckwheat. That's why I don't like him.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
You're exactly right. Yeah, Bob Dylan, no, he gone. I don't know how in the world they say he's a musical genius. I guess you must have had to been on LSD or something to understand him.
Well, again, writing the music may be where he's musically a genius, but singing it, no, he ain't no genius.
Exactly right, sir. I'm like you. I'm not a big fan of the Beatles, but I do agree with a lot of their stuff politically. If you go back and read some of their lyrics, man, they was against Mao and all those, all the communism back in the day. I mean, the Tax Man's a pretty good tune. I mean, yeah, they're against everything we're against. So I agree with it. That's one band I don't.
Yet they vote Democrat. So I can't figure that. Sounds like an oxymoron. Now I do know that they're very fond of Strawberry Fields. They hope that Strawberry Fields last forever, I think.
Yeah, and also they did write a lot of stuff about the drugs. I mean, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, that's about LSD. So,
yeah, I think they did them drugs when they was riding on the Yellow Submarine, from what I understand.
Exactly.
Yeah, Abby cleared it. I think Abby. The question was, who can you not stand? And when I read that, I was taken aback. But Abby has cleared the air. She said that she loves Whitney, Bon Jovi, and Journey. So I feel better now. I can continue.
Okay. All right. We can agree on. I don't know. I guess I can listen to some of Whitney's stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that rendition of the national anthem, it's I think it was the Super Bowl or maybe the World Series, I can't remember, or a basketball game. I don't know what it was, but that, dude, if that don't make you stand up and be proud to be an American, son, I don't know what. That rendition shook me to my core when she sung that. That was impressive.
I can. Well, I mean, I can talk music all day long. I don't mind a bit. I mean, but she does have a voice on her. I just can't get into her songs and stuff.
Oh yeah, I get it. I get it. That's right. I get it.
I'm just not into that really. Not really into that genre of music.
You posed a question on Facebook the other day, I think, and you correct me if I'm getting it wrong, but you basically asked, there's a song title called "When You Say Nothing at All," and I think you kind of posed,
don't close your eyes.
Don't close your eyes. I'm sorry, don't close your eyes. No, I was thinking of Alison Krauss there for a second, but "Don't Close Your Eyes" by Keith Whitley or Kix. Was that?
Yes.
Is that okay? All right. I didn't get into the poll because I just, to be flat honest with you, I was it made it when I every time I hear that song or hear somebody talk about that song, or specifically the one by Keith Whitley, two different songs, Kix and Keith Whitley, as you well know.
Right.
Until you have sat around a campfire and heard Daryl Singletary play a guitar and sing "Don't Close Your Eyes," then you will never know, ever in the history of ever, is the most beautiful rendition of that song that has ever been sung.
I can believe that.
Yeah. Daryl's voice, Daryl Singletary's voice was the most beautiful and just, I can't describe it, man. I mean, I guess I'm biased because I knew him and he was a friend of mine and all, but he passed away and y'all won't never hear it, but there's nothing that can be compared to that particular. And I heard it many times. I mean, every time that we got together, everybody that knew him, he had to sing that song. That was just the one he had to sing, and it's just. I can't describe it with words. You'd have to hear it, and unfortunately, you'll never be able to. But that is the best rendition ever of that song.
Hey, Daryl is a lot like Keith Whitley. I mean, they both died way too young. I would love to have watched both of those guys grow old and see what they would have produced over their lifetime if they would have, if they wouldn't have died. That's just two amazing artists. Awesome guys.
No doubt.
I love everything I've heard by both of those guys.
Yeah. Abby says we should have a campfire singing one Monday night.
I can't do it on Monday night. We can do it at Tyler Rossi any weekend though. Well, they win.
Well, I think that we can have the campfire. I don't know about all the singing from this crowd. I mean, I can sing a few, and I'm sure everybody enjoy that. But I don't know about anybody else. I don't know.
Steve has set the bar, ladies and gentlemen. If you can sing better than Steve, you are more than welcome to sing at my campfire.
Well, I'll be the only one singing if you do that. You can't do that. I'll go last.
Well,
I'll go last because if I go first, nobody else will want to get up there. It's like being at karaoke, and you don't want to have to follow that guy or that girl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, well, I mean, opinions vary. I mean,
Yeah.
to me personally, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I've heard you sing, and you sound like a dying calf in a hailstorm. But and I'm saying that because I love you.
Well, I mean, you can take that as a compliment. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure a dying calf in a hailstorm, some dying calves in hailstorms might sound okay. Greg Dana says the Beach Boys. I think they get on his nerves. The Beach Boys. They're a unique type sound too, and I grew up listening to my dad listen to the Beach Boys on 8-track tape, so I have an appreciation for the Beach Boys. But like my dad, who hated the Beatles, I hated the Beatles, and I continue to hate the Beatles to this day.
I can get into it. I'm surprised Greg don't like the Beach Boys. They were car buffs. I mean, yeah, talking about drag racing and all that kind of thing. I mean, that right there kind of that. I'm surprised to hear Greg say that. Old Shade Tree.
Well, now he says no. So, so Greg, do you like the Beach Boys or you don't like the Beach Boys? I want to be clear on this. And or you saying they don't know nothing about cars? I mean, I'll listen to the Little Deuce Coupe song and the 4 on the Floor and all that stuff like that. Do you dislike the Beach Boys, Greg, or do you like the Beach Boys? I want to be accurate here. I don't want to brand you as something you're not. You know what I'm saying? So I'll wait for his answer on that. But yeah, I don't know. So what? Maybe you answered this, maybe you didn't. But what is the number one automatic? We're gonna turn the channel, or we're gonna reduce the volume, or we're gonna go find something else to do when that one comes on. Who is it?
For me, it's tied for first. It's either gonna be Bob Dylan or Florida Georgia Line.
Florida Georgia Line. That's the country band that sings. Okay. Yeah, definitely Bob Dylan. Now the Florida Georgia Line, or I would call it the Georgia Florida Line, because we always know Georgia comes first when it comes to Georgia and Florida. Georgia is number one. So the Georgia Florida Line band. I'm not a huge fan, but I have to kind of like them a little bit because a friend of mine, Cole Taylor. Okay, so Greg says he loves the Beach Boys. So I had it wrong there. We got that corrected. So Greg loves the Beach Boys. So the Georgia Florida Line, they sung a song. It went number one called "Sipping on Fire," and that was written by a good friend of mine, Cole Taylor. And he wrote that song, made a lot of money, and somehow lost my cell phone number. No, I'm teasing about it. I talked to him the other day. We were going to play golf down at an event in Florida one time and we were driving his car and he ran out of gas. This is how far we've come in life. He didn't have no money and didn't say nothing about it to nobody. We driving, and I think he just was hoping we'd make it, but we didn't make it. And I said, we got to get some gas. And he said, man, I don't have no money. He was young. He was only like 18, 19, 20, maybe, just starting out, had been writing, but he hadn't done nothing, And then he went from not having gas money to having enough money that if he ran out of toilet paper, he could use a few dollars to wipe his tail with. You know what I'm saying? That it's just
he got gas money now.
He got gas money now, yeah. And so anyway, we were talking about that a few weeks ago, but that's the only reason I kind of, I can't say I dislike them. So, but I get you.
I'm happy for you, buddy.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, I mean, it just I cannot. No, When they come on the radio, that is the only time I have ever considered pulling my Glock out and blowing holes in my day.
that bad. None of their you can't tolerate any of theirs, which I couldn't name any more than Sipping on Fire. But any of their you just can't listen. That's kind of me and the Beatles. Although I've never wanted to get violent when I heard the Beatles, but
that dude's voice is worse than daggum. You might as well take razor blades and slice me up down the back, pour alcohol on it while you're stretching your fingernails down the chalkboard.
How about that? How about that? Well,
What I get
yeah,
when
that's
I hear that.
yeah, you have a definite disdain for the Georgia Florida Line
I think
boys.
I just, yeah, no, we're not there.
Hmm.
Anyhow, brother, I've said enough. Besides that, I think I'm getting in a big area and cutting that in and out. So we're gonna bow on out. Let somebody else have it.
See you later, my man.
All right, we're going. See you.
All right, bye bye. Well, there you go. Glenn does not like the Georgia Florida Line boys. Let's go to the phone line. Good morning, caller. You're on the Valdosta Transmission Hotline. What's on your mind today?
Man, I can't believe you hate the Beatles.
I don't hate them. I just can't. I hate their music. I don't hate them. I mean, I don't know.
Well,
them.
let me ask you this. One question for you.
Sure.
Who is the most influential rock and roll band of the 20th century?
I mean, it may be the Beatles. I don't know.
It damn sure is the Beatles.
But that ain't got nothing to do with me liking them or not, John. I can give them the respect.
Well,
they
I-
just
hey,
they,
look,
they
I
suck.
went through I read a list of artists who were influenced by the Beatles, and you know who was number one on that list?
Georgia Florida Line.
Your damn Bruce Springsteen hero.
No, see, there you go again. I'm surprised at this conversation.
Well,
He ain't my hero.
Neither-
I don't
neither-
care
neither
about his
cares
political stuff.
The Beatles would been them earlier, so I'm.
But I've
I'm
never
jumping in
disparaged
inside.
them. I've never disparaged them personally. I just don't like their sound. You know what I mean? I don't like Bruce Springsteen's political position, but I do like Hungry Hearts.
Well,
I
I don't either.
Yeah.
But hey, look, Bob Dylan can't sing a lick, but neither can Bruce Springsteen.
and neither can the Beatles.
Oh, the Beatles are very musical. Every one of them can sing except the drummer.
Bruce Springsteen can sing. He can also play about 14 different instruments. He also sold, his record collection to Sony for about $800 million. So if you judge it by money, the Beatles and Bruce Springsteen have a claim
Well,
to
if it weren't for the Beatles, Bruce may not have been inspired to play the first song.
I don't know about that. But I mean, again, irrelevant. That ain't got nothing to do with the Beatles sounding like a bunch of cats caught in a steel trap.
I think it's an age thing.
Well, it may be. It may be.
So,
It could be.
but anyway, maybe we can agree on this. The greatest American
Mm-hmm.
rock and roll band, the Allman Brothers Band.
They would definitely be in the conversation. Yeah. Leonard Skinner, the Allman Brothers, Led Zeppelin's they got some English influence in there. That's right. That's right. You're right. Yeah. The Allman Brothers definitely in the conversation. I love the Allman Brothers. Can't say anything about bad about the Allman Brothers
Man,
for sure.
I'm so relieved that we have found common ground.
Well, most of the time when we talk, we do. Sometimes we're not going to, agree on everything, and sometimes we walk away from the conversation. I'm scratching my head, you're scratching yours, and we're scratching for two different reasons. But then we always come back together when we say something like the Allman Brothers. So it's all good. It's all good. You have to work. You got to work yourself through these conversations.
Sure. I was reading some of the comments on your Facebook post this morning. One guy mentioned a band that is a great Georgia band
Mm-hmm.
that has been making music for 20 years. And I just discovered them a couple of weeks ago, and their name is Blackberry Smoke.
Oh yeah. Blackberry Smoke's a good band. No doubt about it. Yeah.
Man, that is some terrific music, some really inspired songwriting. I love them. I mean, they're one of my new favorites.
Yeah. Hey, you might can discuss the authenticity of this statement. Janet Grant says, "How about Slim Whitman? He sold more records in Europe than the Beatles did."
Yeah. Slim Whitman was a force.
Yeah. Oh, Slim. You gonna be all right
Yeah.
if your name's Slim. You know what I'm saying?
I'll never be named that.
Me neither.
Okay.
All right,
Well,
John.
look,
Good stuff, man.
man, I'm a Beatles fan. We just don't have to
I'm not going to hold that
We'll have
against
to
you.
agree to disagree.
I'm not going to hold that against you. I'm not.
Well, I appreciate it.
All right, man. I appreciate it. See you. 229-469-1417. Let's see. What else? Aaron Spikes, Damon got 2 again. I don't know what that means. Van Halen, Madonna, Michael Jackson, AC/DC. Yeah, I like songs from all of them. That's a wide variety of different kinds of bands. That's for sure. It's really dependent on what mood I'm in as to what music I might listen to. Good morning, caller. You're on the Valdosta Transmission Hotline. What's on your mind today?
Hey, Steve, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
First time I ever called, been a long time listener.
Well, I appreciate it.
Johnny from Waycross.
Johnny from Waycross. I know who you are. What's on your mind, Johnny? What's going on, buddy?
I got a challenge for you.
Lay it on me.
You want to hear one of the greatest Southern jams of all time?
What is it?
You need to go to the Marshall Tucker Band
Mm-hmm.
album.
Mm-hmm.
It's Where We All Belong. The whole second side is the live version, but there's one song in particular called 24 Hours at a Time.
20. I'm writing
You
it
need to
down.
listen to it.
I'm writing it down. I will do that. 24 hours at a time. Marshall Tucker Band. Yep.
Off of Where We All Belong,
I
the
got
live version.
it. The live version. I'm gonna write a live version. I'll check it out, Johnny. What's
You need to check it out.
I will. What's while I got you, what's the latest over in Waycross? What's going on over there in that community?
We're waiting on trains.
Yeah, that's always been the case. It seems like my entire life trains have been an issue in Waycross, Georgia.
They still hadn't fixed the road where they had the big derail.
Mm.
CSX still hadn't done anything with that. They're probably trying to figure out how they can get the county to do that.
Probably so. They got all the money and yet they won't fix it.
Absolute greatest example of corporate personhood I've ever seen in my life.
That's right. That's right.
The neighborhood where I live, there's 3 crossings to get out. And last, I believe it was Thursday, CSX blocked every one of them at 5 minutes to 8.
Golly, man, that's frustrating.
And
Ain't it?
there's nothing, you can't call nobody, you can't find them, you can't do anything because they have federal immunity. James Burchett tried to write a bill, but nobody would support it.
Yeah, they don't want to go up against that machine, do they?
No, sir, they do not. But they ruled the school in Waycross.
No doubt about it. Now the T-Splosh that was passed, the 18 county,
Yeah.
thing, wasn't there money in that to build some sort of a bridge or bypass type thing to go over the railroad track to give it some relief? Am I understanding that correctly?
I don't know if it's actually off that T-Splosh, but there is money. There is a plan. But CSX has come back and told them, well, we've already double tracked, but we want y'all to build it to accommodate 4 tracks. And they hold the keys. They tell you how you got to build it, to what specs and everything. So, but it's probably 5-6 years down the road.
Yeah.
They won't, that's way down the road. They did vote and approved an escape route for my neighborhood. It bid last Thursday. And I'm anxious to see if the county's going to accept the bid for it.
Yeah.
So we may have a way out, but it's going to be about a year out.
Is the neighborhood you live in, is there a lot of houses in that neighborhood?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
There's probably about 85 to 100 families that live in it.
Wow, that's substantial there.
Yeah, there's actually been instances where ambulance needs to get into the neighborhood and can't.
Yeah.
And I asked the county manager what the protocol was when that happens, and he told me there was none. So you got an ambulance waiting to get across the railroad track, and there's nothing you can do but wait. Imagine that.
It's hard to believe, man. That's tough. Well, Johnny,
Anyway,
I appreciate you calling in this morning.
Band,
Yep.
where we all belong, 24 hours at a time.
Off the live version.
Yeah.
Got it.
Second side.
Second side.
See ya.
10-4, man. Thank you. We'll have to check that out. What about Motley Crue? Ain't nobody said Motley Crue. Good old Southern rock and roll band. Let's see here. What did he say about old school Tom Waits? There I love it. There I love it too. Yeah, Tom Waits good. Neil Young, yeah, Neil Young. I don't love him, but I like some of his songs. Yeah. J.J. Gray and Mofro, Greg Fielding says. Greg Fielding says. Ronnie Van Zant. I got a good. I think it's a good story. Ronnie Van Zant is. I know his cousin. His cousin was telling me the story about how Ronnie, rose to popularity there, and it's not nothing monumental, but they used to practice in the garage of one of them's homes there, and they would always say, man, he's wasting his time, and he needs to go to school, learn how to do something, get him a job, blah blah blah. Ain't never gonna make nothing of himself. He ends up being in one of the greatest bands in history. Alabama, yeah, good country band, no doubt about that. Mary Williams says, but the band who put on the best show that I've been to was Zach Brown. What an awesome concert. What are some of the concerts you guys have been to? You'd be surprised at some of the ones I've been to. When you have kids and that like music, you try to surprise them. And I've been to all kinds of concerts, country, rock, pop, just all kinds of different ones. And again, I can find most, I can find a song at least by most anybody that I can write or like, or if I can, find the history of the song or the background of it or the inspiration, I can have a respect for it. Dirk Harrell says Kiss is the best show you will ever see, period. I was 9 when I saw Kiss, and 8 or 9, I went to see Kiss and was dragged by my uncle to see it, and scared the shit out of me, and cried the whole time. It's just not common for a young fella from Hayhira at that age to be put in a loud situation like that, with people flying on wires with fire coming out of their mouths and a man with a very long tongue on stage. It was very frightening. But as I grew, I come to agree that with Dirk, that Kiss is a really good show. Boston, great group. More Than a Feeling. Yeah, I can see that 8-track tape in my face right now. Play That Funky Music by Wild Cherry. Yeah, good stuff there. Bobby says saw Kiss 4 times in the 70s. I've seen Duran Duran 3 times and 38 Special twice. 38 Special is another good one. Tom Petty, good one. ZZ Top, yeah. Top concerts for me, Bobby May says Deep Purple, Queen, and Aerosmith. Good stuff, man. Good stuff here. Tom Petty's death hit me the hardest. Yeah, man, that sucks. We've lost some good musicians. And of course, when you get on up in age like we are now, it just happens more frequently. All right, what else y'all got? Never liked Kiss, Leela Kitchens says. I like Kiss. Once I got over that trauma, I liked them. They got some good music. Aaron Spike says Conway, Randy Travis, Don Williams. There's a good singer. Charlie McLean, Hank Jr. Those are my concerts. Out of all of them, Hank Jr. was the worst. He rearranged lyrics, changed words, seemed drunk. Yeah, that ain't hard to imagine right there. But Steve, when is your 8-track coming out? We're working on it, Larry. Dirk's helping me on it. He's mixing some things up for me, and soon. Hope to get it released sometime this century. That's what we're shooting for. We don't want to put any pressure on us. There's a lot of pressure in the music industry already, and for us to put that added pressure of a timeline on it would kind of I'm afraid that Dirk and I, that we've discussed this, our creativity on the 8-track would be hampered a little bit. So we're taking our time on that one. Sid Moore Hobart says Almond Brothers, I like them. Randy says Brooks and Dunn. Yeah, Brooks and Dunn, they're good. They're good stuff. My Maria, I can carry that note out into perfection there. David McCullough says Journey. Journey was just a juggernaut in the back in the day. The Mavericks asleep at the wheel. Kiss sold out shows for over 40 years. No doubt about it. Good stuff. 8:02. I got to take a break. Get some more coffee. Keep going. Y'all think of something to talk about? We can stay on the music trend if you want to. Now this show's about what y'all want to talk about, and it's obvious that y'all like music. I question some of y'all's judgment in some of these bands. John Schaffer's got me scratching my head this morning, and apparently I've got him scratching his. We'll be right back.
Wide awake now? We're honored and humbled to share this time with you each and every day. Please consider liking, sharing, and spreading the word by telling others to tune in. Send them to freedomnetworks.com and they can choose their favorite way to enjoy the show. For now, back to Freedom with Steve Nichols. Go get them, Steve.
All right, back on Freedom with Steve Nichols, 229-469-1417. That is the number to call if you would like to get in on the conversation. If you go to freedomnetworks.com, that's network spelled networks.com, there are some great articles that have been written and put up by a couple of different people. David Penny is one of them. He writes under the heading of Penny Ponders under contributors in freedomnetworks.com. His latest article, you have to be dumb to vote Democrat. And he explains that. And he don't mean dumb in a mean way. He explains why he says that, but he does a good job writing. Dr. Spencer Price has an article on there. Pat Hill will be getting his article up previewing the Georgia Bulldogs here hopefully today. And I read that article. I don't know if Pat's listening, but man, that is a well-written piece on the Georgia Bulldogs, the upcoming season, and the SEC review in general. Just really, really good writing, Pat. That's a good job. Local talent. Abby Pearson loves Lloyd Carter. Yeah, Lloyd Carter is a great musician. I've got a copy of his CD, and there's some good work on there, man. I really like it. Kevin says, I watched Hank Williams Jr. and Waylon Jennings snort cocaine off a piano in Panama City Beach during a concert. Wow. Water Jug says, my biggest musical influence growing up was whoever was playing on Hee Haw that week. That's good stuff right there, boy. Yeah, Grandpa, Roy Clark, and Buck Owens and all them dudes, man, good stuff. Aaron Spikes, Angus Young, Slash from Guns N' Roses, Joe Perry, old Slow Hand himself, all great guitarists. Let's get back to some politics. Let's look around here. Let me check on some of these things. Pakistan foreign minister says help needed after overwhelming floods. You've been hearing a lot about flooding here lately. China's Shenzhen shuts electronics market to fight COVID outbreak. Now, this is going to impact the United States. Let's read this a little bit. If I can, Well, let's see. You have reached your article limit on that site. Can't do it. So anyway, I don't even know what the article says, but electronics in the United States, we get a lot of our stuff from China. The components that make nearly every single brand of computer monitor and TV come from China. LG, Dell, Hisense, it don't matter what it is. That's going to have an impact if that stays down very long. Might as well get off that side. I have reached my maximum capacity. Brent crude, $99.76 a barrel. It has teetered above $100 a barrel. It seems to be rising. It's up 0.42%. That's not a good thing. We'll keep our eye on it. CoinGecko is indicating that Bitcoin is currently trading at 19,000 some odd dollars, and that's down about 4.2%. Let's go to the Valdosta Transmission Hotline. Good morning, caller. What's on your mind today?
Hey, man, one of my favorite Facebook memes is the one that says, I might be old, but I saw Eddie Van Halen on stage.
I have too.
I've seen him twice.
I bet I saw him in a way different manner than you did, though.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, I saw him come out surprisingly to the shock and the bewilderment and joy of everybody when he played the guitar part in the Michael Jackson song Beat It. And the only time I've ever seen Eddie Van Halen in person was when I was watching Michael Jackson in person, and he surprisingly come out and played that guitar part on stage during that concert in Atlanta, Georgia. It was awesome.
I heard about that.
The crowd went nuts.
Nobody was expecting that.
No, they weren't. The crowd went nuts.
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, you should have saw him in concert.
Oh yeah. I would pay money to see.
I saw him in 1984 in Jacksonville for that, for album 1984.
Yeah,
their
cool.
last tour with Roth, and then I saw him again in 2009 in Jacksonville on their reunion tour with Roth.
Yeah, I'd pay money to see Van Halen. That's for sure.
Yeah, I like all kinds of music. I've been a country DJ in my life, and been a skating rink DJ where I learned an appreciation for more thumpier music like R&B, but before they completely destroyed it in the late 90s and it went gangster. But at heart, I'm a hard rocker. And back in about 2016, I think it was, or 17, I took my youngest daughter to Tampa, and we went and saw Iron Maiden.
Oh, yeah. It don't get much harder than that.
And I was blown away, those guys at their age, how they still perform on stage. When I saw Van Halen on the reunion tour in 2009 with Roth, they basically looked like a high school band up there on the stage. There was just no frills. It was just, a few amplifiers, no real, no flamboyant stage setup. But boy, Iron Maiden's still doing everything that they were doing back in the early 80s.
Yeah,
all the fireworks and they perform the music, run, jump. All at their age, they're still doing it.
Yeah, David Lee Roth was a maniac on stage, just from videos and stuff I saw, of them in concert. I was never fortunate enough to see them, but I can imagine the energy there. I would say that I've never seen the Rolling Stones in concert, but Mick Jagger's 128 and still rocking hard. I don't know where they get that energy from to be able to do that kind of thing. Yep.
Alice Cooper is still touring.
Hey, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
He's in his 70s, and we saw him in Tallahassee. My youngest daughter's like me; she likes the hard rock.
Yeah.
So my philosophy has always been, I've never sheltered my kids. And I guess I got this parenting philosophy from my law enforcement career. People shelter their kids, and then when the rapist is crawling in through the window, they don't know how to respond.
That's right.
So I never sheltered my kids from evil, nor from the things out there that there are in life to partake of. And I figured rather than having my daughter sneaking off to concerts like that and trying drugs with, God knows who, I just took her myself. And we saw Alice Cooper in Tallahassee back, I guess 8 or 9 years ago. And the funny thing about Alice Cooper, he still performs just as well, but his age has only played into his stage act. It's because he has this, I guess, Halloweenish type persona and stage act about him. So his age only played into that.
That's right. Yeah, that's true.
He still got that same voice, and I enjoyed the hell out of his concert.
Mm-hmm.
But there was some discussion somewhere recently. I can't remember if I heard it on your show or not about somebody went to see a performance, and it destroyed his image of the guy because it was just nothing but politics the whole concert.
Yeah, that was a caller concerning the Pink Floyd concert he went to.
Pink Floyd. Yep, yep, it was on your show.
Yeah, it was.
And I started to call in on that one because I remember now when I saw Alice Cooper with Brooke, it was in 2016 because the campaign was going on.
Right.
And when I left Alice Cooper's concert, I was shocked to find, guess who he voted for?
Who?
I have no idea.
Because they didn't talk about it.
Because he didn't talk about it. During the concert, a woman dressed up as Hillary Clinton, probably Cooper's wife, because she still travels with him and performs in his shows with him. She came out on stage, and another fella dressed up as Donald Trump came out on stage, and they ended up in a fist fight out on the stage while Alice Cooper sang the song "Elected."
That's funny right there. That is hilarious. Yep. Yeah.
And they were both drug off the stage by somebody. So, there was no favoritism.
Yeah.
And that plays right in. In an interview one time, Alice Cooper said, "My fans do not pay to see me perform my politics. They pay to see me perform my music."
That's right. I Googled Alice Cooper because I'd remembered before you started saying that he was he went out of the way to keep politics out. And there's article after article on that, and one of them is talking about Dee Snider, who was I can't remember who he sung with.
Dee Snider was the lead singer for
Poison, or who was it? Twisted Sister. That's it. Well, he was let down. He's usually disappointed in Alice Cooper when he found out the quote about. Him saying he don't like to mix politics and rock and roll. And he said that, Snyder said, he ought to be more vocal, use his platform and all that. And Alice Cooper's response to Dee Snider was, he goes, well, Dee Snider can think what he wants, but people pay to hear me perform. They don't pay for my politics. That's to your point. That was his quote. So
my response to Dee Snider would be to ask him where he's performing today.
That's right. He's got some sort of podcast. That's about all he's doing, right?
I ain't heard nothing out of him in a while.
Nope, sure have.
But I really admire Alice Cooper. I've been an Alice Cooper fan since 1974. I was 10 years old and stumbled on one of his albums. My dad was visiting some friends, and they had a teenage son who was gone out on a Friday night, and so the mom let me go in the son's room and listen to his records while we were there because I was getting bored. He had an Alice Cooper record, and I thought "Sick Things" was the coolest thing I'd ever heard.
What is
at 10 years old?
What is Alice Cooper's biggest hit, or some of his biggest hits that maybe I would know?
School's Out, Poison gets a lot of FM radio airplay. School's Out, I think, is his most popular. That's the one that really put them on the map. They were struggling in the late 60s, early 70s, and they came up with that song "School's Out." "School's Out for Summer."
Oh, that's him. Okay, "School's Out for." Okay, yeah, I know that one for sure.
Yeah, and as the story goes, a producer heard that song somewhere, and he saw the potential in that particular song, and got in and backed them and started pushing them, and they went huge on it.
Yeah, it says here he had one number one song. It was called "No More Mr. Nice Guy." Was the album, I think, and $1 Billion Babies, or one of the two. One's the album number, one's the single, name. But he did have one number one song in 1973.
Yeah, I'm surprised Schools Out didn't get up to number 1, but that's the one that I think he's most noted by.
Got up to number 3. Schools Out got up to number 3. That's interesting.
But yeah, I thought about him the other day when you were having that conversation about Pink Floyd, and I would have never bought a ticket to them anyway. Their music's okay, but I always looked at them as they were mediocre to me. I didn't get into them.
I got you. Yeah, I don't like the political stuff, and I've only been to that I can think of. I've been to several concerts, but I've only been to one where I remember politics being mentioned, and that was in the private, or not the private, but the very the acoustic Bruce Springsteen thing, where it was just him and his guitar, and there were only 3,000 people there. It was a very intimate, where he talked about, you know, the lyrics and the inspirations, and he got a little political there. But at his big concerts, he didn't really get political. But now that was years ago. You know, that was 20 years ago. Now he gets political every chance he gets, and I would never buy a ticket to see him now because of that.
No, that's a turn off to me, and I don't care which direction they lean.
Yeah, me too.
I don't buy music to go to. I want to hear hard. The harder the guitar work, the better.
Yeah,
that's what I go to hear.
Yeah. Now, Kid Rock.
You're going to deprive me of that without telling me beforehand and start filling me with, you know, Bolshevik BS. You've made your last penny off of me.
Yeah. Kid Rock is on the other side of the coin, or on political spectrum. Ted Nugent, another one. But Kid Rock, you go to a Kid Rock concert, if you enjoy his music, you're going to enjoy the concert. And then if you're a conservative, you're going to enjoy his commentary. But I'm like you. I don't want to go listen to that, even though I probably align with many of his political views, apparently. I just assume him leave that at home and let's stick to the music. So for the same reasons you mentioned, I don't know that I'd spend money on a Kid Rock concert ticket, even though, again, I align with him. You know?
If they tell me beforehand this is a political campaign, okay, I get it.
Yeah.
But listening to that fella the other day call into you, and he was just completely let down and disappointed because he went to a Pink Floyd concert.
That's right.
And it wasn't what he got. It's a bait and switch.
It is. Yep. Yep. People keep buying them tickets.
It's dishonesty.
Yep.
Be it Kid Rock or Pink Floyd or Alice Cooper or anyone. But Alice Cooper has told us beforehand what he's about. And, you know, he has my admiration for that. And there's very few like him. The guy with the tongue that you spoke about a while ago, Gene Simmons.
Yeah.
He's that way. Very savvy businessman.
Oh, yeah. Very conservative, too. Very conservative, too.
Is he?
He is,
I don't know his political affiliations.
I shouldn't say very conservative. He leans conservative, but now he does have some liberal.
It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
Because he didn't fall into that rock and roll, drugs. He didn't blow himself out on drugs. He was wise with his fame and his money, and he has other business ventures that he pursues outside of the rock and roll world. I don't know if people know that or not.
Oh, yeah.
Alice Cooper the same way. Alice Cooper got addicted, but he with the help of his wife, he saved himself from it. He has a very famous restaurant in I believe it's Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yeah, Gene Simmons has he's had reality TV shows, a lot of investment. I don't know this to be fact, but I wouldn't be surprised if he was financially the most successful of all the KISS members.
Yeah, because he was the smartest.
That's right. And he had the longest tongue. Don't forget that.
You know, this is not something I'd normally go into. But it's funny as it can be. But Gene Simmons was actually on the Oprah Winfrey show one time.
Yeah.
And Oprah Winfrey asked Gene Simmons, it was an honest question because it's part of his persona, but she asked him how long his tongue was. You ever hear about that?
I don't think so.
Yeah. And you could tell this completely blindsided Oprah Winfrey. She did not see it coming. But she asked Gene Simmons how long his tongue was. I guess, you know, the self-evident question is, have you ever actually had it measured to know exactly how far it extends out?
Right.
Gene Simmons' response was, long enough to make you my best friend.
Oh Lord, that's hilarious right there now.
And that was all Oprah had to say about that.
That reminds me a little bit of a Johnny Carson skit, or it wasn't a skit. It was an interview with Ava Gabor. You remember the lady? She's a blind lady. I can't describe her. Zsa Zsa Gabor. That's right. Zsa Zsa Gabor.
The one that slapped the cop.
That's right. Yeah. Well, he had her on his show, and she had. I'm gonna try to tastefully do this. Anyway, and this is real. This was live, and it went out. And he actually got fined by the FCC for this episode. But Zsa Zsa is sitting there, and she had her cat with him. And of course, Johnny was saying, "Well, Zsa Zsa, that's a beautiful cat you got there. I'm glad you brought it with you. What's your cat's name?" And Zsa Zsa said, "Well, I just call the cat the P word, and y'all can fill in the blank because I just don't want to. It's just a little bit much for me, and you'll understand why." So anyway, and Johnny, the audience laughs, and Johnny says, "Okay." So he repeats it. He goes, "Okay, P word," and she says, "Yeah, that just it's a pussy cat, so that's what I call her, the P word." And she goes, "Oh," John says, "Okay, well, if that's what you want to call it, that's fine." And he's laughing and, trying to hold it back. And Ed McMahon's over there chuckling, and jiggling from laughter, trying to suppress it. And Zsa Zsa goes, "Would you like to pet my P word?" And everybody just bursts into laughter. And Johnny's looking around, and it's like, you can tell he's contemplating, okay, should I say it or should I not say it? And then he says it. He says, "Move the cat." And anyway, they abruptly went to break, and the rest is history. He was fined a significant amount of money for the incident, and
he should have fought it.
Yeah, he should have. He may have. I don't know. He may have, but anyway, it was hilarious. It was absolutely hilarious. And Zsa Zsa, she actually turned red as a beet when he said it.
Yeah, she was in the news real big when a police officer approached her in a mall or something.
That's right.
One thing led to another. She ended up slapping him.
Lit him up. That's right. In
one of the Naked Gun movies, she had a cameo.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the movie when the credits were playing and all, and those movies, they always enter in with some off the wall scene. And in this particular movie, and I can't remember which one it was, but it may have been the second one, but it shows the bubble gum red light going around and around, and you hear the siren, and the light pulls up behind this like a big Rolls Royce, and Zsa Zsa Gabor gets out of the Rolls Royce and walks back and slaps the fire. You never see a cop, just slaps the fire out of that flashing red light, and it goes out.
That is hilarious.
And she turns around and she stomps back to her Rolls Royce, and as she's walking away, she says, "This happens every effing time when I go shopping."
That's funny, right? That's good stuff right there. That is good stuff right there. Oh man.
I tell you what, those Naked Gun movies with Leslie Nielsen.
Yeah.
God Almighty, it must have been a blast working on that set.
Leslie Nielsen is one of my favorites. I'm gonna tell you who I really love, and I can't get enough of. I'll get on the kick sometimes, and I'll just watch YouTube. I'll YouTube it, and I'll get stuck on it for an hour. But you remember Foster Brooks?
I don't.
Foster Brooks, his claim to fame is imitating drunk people, or excuse me, not imitating, but acting like he's drunk. And they used to do these roasts, these celebrity roasts. They'd roast, they'd roast a politician or an actor or whatever. And it was the Dean Martin celebrity roast is what it was. And
yeah, that was always a riot.
You need do yourself a favor and Google Vincent Foster roasting somebody or whatever. I'll try to send you a link, but he plays a drunk. In one of them, he plays a drunk pilot, and they'll say, "Well, welcome to the Dean Martin." Will say, "Welcome to the stage, Don Rickles' personal pilot." And he'll introduce him, and he'll walk up there and he'll act like a drunk pilot and say, "Well, I got to go catch a plane," and he's just bombed. It is absolutely hilarious, man. You would love it.
I imagine. Yeah, another one that was real good at that was the guy that imitated everybody.
Rich Little.
Rich Little.
Yeah, he's a good one too. Yes, sir.
Yep, he's a classic. But that movie Airplane with Leslie Nielsen, and since that thing, I saw it in the theater when it debuted,
Mm-hmm.
and since it debuted, I've probably watched that movie no fewer than 30 times.
It's a good one, boy.
And to this day, when I watch Airplane, I will catch things in the background that I had not noticed before.
Yeah.
If you watch any of those spoof movies, Police Squad, Airplane, Dracula Dead and Loving It is another one with Leslie Nielsen.
Mm-hmm.
Always pay attention to the background because they have filled those movies with so much comedy, and they hit a lot of it.
That's right. That's right.
For example, in Naked Gun 2.5, there's a scene where they're in the lab talking about some of the evidence from one of the, so-called crime scenes that they're investigating. And while Leslie Nielsen's character is having a conversation with the lab technician, in the background there's a door to an office, and in the window there's the shadow of a woman taking a shower in there naked. And all you can see is her silhouette.
Right.
I had seen that movie probably 6 or 8 times before I noticed that.
Before you saw it, yeah. It's full of stuff in the background. That's fun stuff to watch right there.
But those movies are just peppered with jokes and innuendo and things hidden in the background. It's always a treat to watch them. Anyway, I'm getting long-winded. I'll get out of the way, get someone else room, but good subject.
All right, man. Talk to you soon.
Nice change of pace from all the crap that's going on.
Ain't that the truth? Appreciate it, Jimmy.
See you later.
All right, bye-bye. 229-469-1417. NASA's launch team had an issue with one of the spacecraft's 4 engines. They're currently working to troubleshoot it before the launch window closes. So the launch is in jeopardy. That is the latest breaking news. Hopefully they'll get that rectified and get back on schedule there. So we'll see. Whether he was singing his stuff, Soundgarden stuff, or someone else's material, he always sounded fantastic. I think they're talking about Chris Cornell there, probably. This is a great show and I have enjoyed it, but I got to go fight with the people over at Toyota. Catch y'all tomorrow. Good luck, Bobby. If you're still listening, see Terrell. He'll help you out. Tell him I said, hey, may the force be with you. There, okay, right. Let's go to the phone line. Good morning, caller. You're on the Valdosta Transmission Hotline. What's on your mind today?
Calling back, Steve. Hey, I wanted to ask you, and maybe Jimmy could call back. What do y'all think of a singer and entertainer like Hank Williams Jr. and all of his songs are infiltrated with political messages? So if you saw him in concert, would you find that it's objectionable for him to talk about politics?
Well, I guess the songs speak for themselves. I guess the question would be, and I've never seen Hank in concert, so I don't know how to respond to it, but the question would be, does he spend his time in commentary advancing some sort of, political agenda? If the politics is in the song and you choose to buy a ticket to hear the song, that's one thing. But if he spends 2 or 3 minutes up there opining on the politics, I think that's the difference. And it may not bother some people. I mean, Tim Neesmith, a good friend of mine, says that Kid Rock's concerts are off the chain. I've always heard that but I do know, at least listening to the news, and Tim could clarify this, I don't know how much time he actually spends on politics verbally, but I don't know. That's an interesting question. I guess it's just depending on the individual and what they think they're going to hear when they get there. I don't know. Good question.
I have an idea he would probably, if he's still performing, to talk about it more because politics are more charged now than they were. I mean, remember Hank went on The View and made an ass out of himself a few years ago. He made a comment about Obama.
Here's the way I feel about it. This is the way I feel about this.
Really,
if you are an actor or a singer, if you're an actor or a singer, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but if you've got an actor or a singer that wants to use their platform and their voice to advance something they're passionate about, I don't have a problem with that. I just don't, because ultimately I can govern myself based on what they do. If their actions seem to be that they, every chance they get, they do that. Well, if I don't want to hear it, then I just don't listen to it, either by not buying a ticket to the concert or turning the TV off or not. I mean, I use this platform to get my voice out. And if I get the chance to, several times I've been asked to speak at events, and of course that's what I do. And maybe it's not apples to apples, but I don't necessarily have a problem with an athlete or a singer using their voice or their platform. Where I personally think it crosses the line is if they're mixing their star power into the concert to get that message across. I wish they'd leave that out of it and just concentrate on playing ball or singing the song. But that's just me,
Because I think the same thing could arguably be said about Bruce Springsteen. A lot of his songs have political overtures and underpinnings. They're probably, maybe arguably not as vivid as Hank Williams Jr.'s, but they are there nonetheless.
Especially in his later years, the later music. Now the music he was playing when I, went was on one level. About the most political statement song he had that in my opinion was Born in the USA. But now, I mean, in his later works, it is laced with politics. So therefore, I mean, I don't like any of his later songs. I don't like his later music. If it's something he did, past about 1995, I don't listen to it, and probably couldn't name too much of it. But Born to Run, The River, Hungry Hearts, and then into some of his pop money making stuff. Dancing in the Dark. I mean, there ain't nothing about politics in that song. Tunnel of Love, Brilliant Disguise. I mean, them songs, there's no politics whatsoever in those songs. But in the later years,
well, I remember in the '80s, Ronald Reagan picked that song for his
Born
campaign.
in the USA. Yeah, that's
Born. And Springsteen came out and said, "Hey, look, this isn't a song about America in a positive sense.
That's right.
This song's about the darker side of American life."
Absolutely. Yeah.
I do recall that.
Yeah, but that's what I said. And that's why I named Born in the USA. That was the most political song. And it was a statement about war and the Vietnam War and stuff like that. Of course, he did the remake of the song War. But that was as political as he got back then. And then he took it and put it on steroids in his later years.
Yeah, it's all amplified now.
Exactly.
It all is.
It is.
Anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there because I've always, I felt like Hank's unmistakable. His message has been consistent through the decades. He may have strayed a little bit. I remember he had one song in the early '80s where he said Reaganomics and plastic people are making good luck hard to find. But other than that, I have a hard time finding anything where he leaned left. But I think he's drifted more right, definitely, over the years.
Who's that now?
Hank Jr.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, probably so.
Hank Jr. Yeah.
All right.
Interesting. Love the show.
All right. Talk to you soon.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye. 229-469-1417. What's on your mind? Trying to catch up on some of y'all's comments. They keep coming in. I'm gonna a lot of people have tuned in late and missed my commentary on the Rodemaker case, so I'm gonna go on it now. Again, I'm not gonna pull up the notes. I'm gonna address it. One of the lawsuits surrounding the Rodemaker case was against a gentleman of the last name Usher, and Usher posted on social media and spread rumors about Coach Rodemaker that the court found defamatory because they were not true. And this is a huge thing. So once the court heard the case, Usher could not defend himself in it. The court awarded a judgment to the Rodemakers for $250,000. and Usher owes that now because he defamed, by the court's findings, he defamed the Rodemakers and now has to pay the $250K. This is a big step in it because there's still 4 or 5 pending lawsuits in this case, and it takes away all the allegations that Usher, aka the Speakeasy, I think, they found that all that is bull crap, and so therefore defamatory. So that takes away all those as reasons, as possible reasons that Rodemaker was fired. All of them. There was some credit card misuse allegations that were untrue, along with some other things that were just totally false and outright lies. And now Usher, unfortunately for him, he's got to pay the Rodemakers $250,000 because of that. But it takes away all those, out in the court of public opinion, everybody's speculating, well, why did the board terminate him? Well, it wasn't for them reasons, because the court absolutely found that those were untrue. So there you go. That's the latest on that. Now, so as they move forward, it becomes, the position of the defense is that he was let go or not renewed because of discriminatory reasons. And seems to me that this case against Usher bolsters that position, puts the defense in a better position moving forward with the lawsuits. So we'll see how it plays out. The wheels of justice turn slow, but that is the first step in the justice process for the Rodemakers. They have been awarded that $250,000. So that's the latest in that. It's all public record. Y'all can look it up. 229-469-1417 if you guys want to give me a call. It's 8:38, so we got time to take a few more songs. Well, it seems like we're talking about music. Well, I wonder what is what is the number one? Let's see. What is the current number one country song? I couldn't tell you if you offered me $10 million. Current number one country hit, according to I guess I don't know what. Let's see here. The number one song in 2022. It says in the issue of Billboard dated January 1, 2022, Fancy Like by Walker Hayes held the top spot on the country charts. And Thinking About You by Dustin Lynch and Mackenzie Porter was atop the country airplay chart. Both songs retained their positions from the final chart of 2021. So I don't know what that means. I don't know what the current one is. What is the number one country song right now? The current number one pop song on iTunes right now is Hold Me Closer by Elton John and Britney Spears. What are today's top 10 country songs? Dylan Scott, New Truck, Kane Brown, Like I Love Country Music, Scotty McCreery, Damn Straight, Chris Young, At the End of a Bar, John Party, Last Night Lonely, Maren Morris, Circles Around This Town, Justin Moore, With a Woman You Love, Mitchell Tenpenny, Truth About You. Justin Moore is an interesting cat. I met him up in Nashville. Short dude, comes up to about my chin, even with his cowboy hat on. Elton John, we haven't said anything about Elton John. How many Elton John fans are out there? I'm not a big Elton John fan, although a couple of his songs are okay. What do y'all think about Sir Elton John? I think he got knighted or something, didn't he? Whatever that means. I don't know why they don't knight me. I read from the BBC every single day. Why don't I get a knight? Country ain't country no more. I think most everyone would agree with that. Today's country ain't yesterday's. Let's see. I like this music, but not his radio pop song, but his older stuff like Yellow Brick Road. Back in that day, We're Very Good and More Upbeat. We're Very Good and More Upbeat. Yeah, I know I probably agree with that assessment. Crocodile Rock. I don't even fit in 2022. Good morning, caller. You're on the Valdosta Transmission Hotline. What's on your mind?
Good morning, sir.
What's up, Big B?
We're going to talk about subject I know.
What you know? Eating?
Well, that too. I'm on music right now.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I'm just throwing this out there for the public that is listening. Get out and support the local people that's out playing little gigs in restaurants or bars or whatever. Those guys and gals, they're trying to make it big, or either they're doing it because they love of the music and the artistic principles behind it. You know, they're doing it, to do tips or whatever. And I'll throw a couple out there. Brent Browning is from Nashville, Georgia. We call him BB. Brent Browning is a heck of an entertainer. Met him several years ago over in St. Simons. He plays over there quite often, and he plays locally around. Look him up. Look up Flintlock Annie. They're a local group. They're the ones that played at my birthday, remember?
That's right. I remember. I do. They're very good. Very good.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, they've cut some stuff, and you can look them on YouTube, and they've done some stuff, and they got a cool song called Somewhere Alabama. God Almighty. That's the only thing about Alabama I like right this minute. But Somewhere Alabama. Then you got like Lloyd Carter, and you got other people that we met some people this past weekend that were playing at a Mexican restaurant in Quitman. A couple of guys just playing music because they needed to fill in and do something somewhere, and these guys are up in their 50s and 60s. They're not doing it to go get a contract somewhere. They're doing it because they love it, and they like entertaining people. They might make an extra $50 in tips that night. Great. But that's my point of my call is support the local folks, because those that's up there in Nashville or in LA or New York or whatever, they already got contracts. They got guaranteed money.
Yeah. Well, I echo your sentiment there. It's sort of the muse behind me doing the 8-track. I mean, I know that when I release it, it's going to be wildly popular. I have no doubt that I'll be probably having to go on tour and I'll make millions of dollars, but that's really not the muse for the project. I mean, it's the love of the music that's making me do it.
My question is, how many 8-tracks are you going to produce? I'm seriously.
As many as it takes. I mean, it's supply and demand.
I'm asking is because 8-track chunking will become an Olympic sport.
B, I don't understand what that means there, but this is coming from somebody. Let's be honest now, B. This is coming. This commentary is coming from somebody that does not like Glenn Campbell. So your credibility is in question. Your credibility is in question because you are the only one so far that has said that. I mean, and I find that
the only thing Glenn Campbell ever did, in my opinion, that contribute to the country music was Alan Jackson's wife gave him a demo tape on a flight. And he put it on to the people that needed to hear. If that hadn't took place, if Glenn Campbell hadn't been put there, music history been changed. I give him props for that. But no, I same way with Willie Nelson. Willie is he's a hell of a songwriter. I can't stand to hear him singing through his nose. But you mentioned Bob Dylan earlier.
I get that. Yeah, I get that. I'm no big Willie Nelson fan. I'll get it, but always on my mind. I mean, surely you like that song and him sing it. Nobody can sing it like him.
What is that one? Hang on. Oh, Whiskey River. Now, Whiskey River is a good tune that he does.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna close this conversation by just simply saying this, B. I've been walking these streets alone, singing the same old song.
I'm getting static.
Till I know every crack in these dirty sidewalks of Broadway. Everybody knows that's
country music.
That's Rhinestone Cowboy. That is country music. It is the very essence of country music. It's Glenn Campbell, for God's sake.
It ain't a George Jones. It ain't a Merle.
George Jones loved Glenn Campbell.
Hey, that's a man crush they had back in the day. I can't help that.
All right. Well,
hey, look here. I am up here. I'm downtown Dobrin, Georgia. For those that can find that on the map, I got to stop and drop some parts off with a customer. But hey, appreciate what you've done this morning. Today's been a great day so far, even though it is money and it's foggy. Y'all pay attention. There's people driving no damn headlights on, pulling out in front of folks. Nancy had a semi pull out in front of her a while ago on the way to work. She almost T-boned, on the side road.
Yeah,
so
you got to be
y'all
careful.
Just turn your headlights on, act like you got some smarts.
Well, you got to get out of that weekend fog you wake up with on a Monday morning and realize, hey, I don't want to do this, but I got to do it, and I might as well do it responsibly.
Honestly, the 15th of this month coming up will be 7 years I've been at this job here. I have yet to have a Monday like that.
10-0.
I'm telling you, this is one of the best things that ever happened to me.
I hear you, brother.
And I love the people I work for. They family, okay?
That's
and
good.
Granted, we family don't always get along, but we do things good together. You know what I mean? We compliment each other.
No doubt.
So, all right, buddy.
See you, B.
See you, bye.
All right, bye. 229-469-1417. If you you hang around somebody long enough, they will let you down. They will. I've let people down, but Big B's let me down with this Glenn Campbell nonsense this morning. But hey, you know, John Schaffer, you know, he and I had a, you know, I think we all okay. I think Big B and I are all right. I think John Schaffer and I are all right. I just, you know, it tests the bounds of the friendship sometimes when you talk about music. Mary, honestly, I'm as clueless as a cow at a new gate. I don't know what that means. 7 Spanish Angels with Ray Charles. Yeah, that's a good one there. I can't think of singer's name who sings a very sad song, Honey. Honey, won't you open that door? This is your sweet daddy. Don't you love me no more? It's cold outside. Don't make me sleep on the floor. Honey, won't you open that door? Is that the one, Kevin? That is very sad. It's sad that the man can't get into his own house. Larry says, I agree with B. I don't like Glenn Campbell. Larry, anybody listen to that? That's stupid. Beastie Boys got to fight for your right to party as a classic. Yes, it is. I'm down with that. Good morning, caller. You're on the Valdosta Transmission Hotline. What's on your mind today?
Yes, sir, Steve. You and I were just fine.
Okay,
and today's show, though, I don't think it's something we need to do all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But man, it was such a great break.
It is, man. It makes
not having so much serious crap.
Yeah.
And having a lighthearted Monday.
Sometimes we need that,
Mr. Nichols.
Sometimes we need that. Thank you so much. Hey, let me tell you something. It's not. Here's the thing. This is I know people get different things out of the show, but this is what I like about it. I like the fact that the audience kind of dictates the content of the show. It's not. I didn't plan. Man, let me tell you, I would have never guessed in a million years today would have went like it did. Never.
Oh,
but.
But
the interaction, I think this is the beauty of the show. The interaction between me and you guys, that's the beauty of the show. I mean, I could get in here and do it like everybody else, spend a lot of time, script the show, not take any calls or, you know, or something like that. But man, I just like the show to, you know, I polish up on what the current headlines are at night, but I kind of let the show develop into where it's going to go. I don't know where it's going to go each and every day. And I think that's the attraction to it.
Yeah. Well, and I'm really so glad that you came up with the comment about hating the Bills because you started it.
I started it. So now you're looking to blame somebody, John. This is
No.
Oh?
It's not blame. But you began the conversation today by hating on the Beatles.
So what you're saying is tomorrow I need to come in with something on my mind that I hate. I'm gonna tell you.
I'm sure someone will either take offense or find agreement and start a conversation.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead. We only got 10 minutes, but there's something else on my mind. When I said what else do I hate, something immediately popped into my head. You know what I hate? I hate boiled okra. It's nasty. It ought to be outlawed. It is slimy. It's like eating snot. And I don't understand you people who like boiled okra. And John,
I love it.
I knew it. I knew it because you're a Beatles fan. It makes perfect sense. If you like the Beatles, you're going to love boiled okra because neither make any sense.
I'll put me a dozen 1.5-inch little okras in a pot and boil them and butter them up and sauce them up real good. And watch my wife gag as I just slide them on down.
Your wife is a smart lady, John, but you, on the other hand, you got issues. I'm just saying. I mean, that's just, I don't know. We'll let the audience see Sherry Powell. She wrote boiled okra. She's got the green sick emojis out there. Abby Pearson says, yuck. Is there anybody that likes boiled okra? Only John Schaffer so far. Only
Do you
John.
eat raw oysters?
I love raw oysters,
Well, they slide down just like an okra.
but they taste good.
Well, so does okra.
No, it don't, John. No, it don't. It's fake news.
Okay. How about fried?
I can stomach it fried. I'm not a fan of okra, period. But if you're going to make me eat one, I'll eat the fried okra. But the slimy boiled okra should be outlawed. Now, Tony Bennett loves boiled okra. He's a sick man as well. Probably likes the Beatles. Yeah, Stephen Sipes.
Tony's got good culinary appreciation.
Yeah, Stephen Sipes is from Hayhira, and he likes boiled okra, which is that's very confusing. Very confusing.
How
Stephen,
about okra with stewed tomatoes?
is it boiled?
Well, you kind of.
Then it sucks, John. It just sucks.
How about okra? How about okra in gumbo?
I've never had okra in gumbo, so I don't know. I'm not going to pass judgment on that. But I'm going to tell you what I hate.
Never had real gumbo.
Well, hey, have you ever been to a family reunion or somewhere where someone brought some good old peas and they got the peas in there, and somebody made the ludicrous, nonsensical decision to spike it with okra?
Yeah, I'd probably have me an extra helping.
You're a sick man, John. You're a sick man. you need to listen to your wife. She's much smarter than you.
Okay. All right.
Good stuff.
Well,
Good stuff. I love you, John. I love you. I don't understand you, but I love you, brother.
Well, hey, I'm a Clemson guy.
I ain't got no problem with that.
You are evidently going to be pulling against my guys on October the 15th.
I was prepared for that.
Go down to Doak Campbell.
I was prepared for that. And the only reason I'm going to say, I'm not overly concerned about who wins or loses. I will indeed pull for the Seminoles because they're about 65 miles from my current location, and Clemson's what, 400?
Huh?
Yeah, but
probably 240.
240. I mean, that's more than 60. So
yeah,
that's all I got.
That's okay. Well, may the best, most talented, well-coached team win.
Well, that'll probably be Clemson. All right, John.
Okay.
Have a good day.
Hey, I still love Kevin.
All right.
Still my friend.
I know he is. See you, buddy.
Talk to you later.
All right. Bye-bye. Bye. Excuse me. 229-469-1417. Have y'all noticed that my cough, though I just coughed, has been better this morning? Maybe I am turning the proverbial page. Good morning, caller. You're on the this Monday morning's version of DJ Across America or something. What's on your mind?
Hey, the sad song called Honey that was mentioned earlier, I don't think is the one you tried to sing. I believe.
Wait a minute, tried to sing. What is that? What does that mean?
Well, you didn't finish it.
Okay, well, I'll go with that. Yeah. So you're saying you want me to finish it?
Was being thought about is by Bobby Goldsboro. See the tree, how big it's grown, but friend, it hasn't been too long. It wasn't big. Remember that one?
I do remember that one. Yeah.
I laughed at her and she got mad. The first day she planted it was just a twig. And she ends up dying in the song. And that song has long been considered one of the saddest of all time, I think.
Yeah, that is a very sad song. I'll tell you another sad song is the one that Alan Jackson sung. I think it was called Sissy's Song. It was about I think it was his housekeeper or babysitter or something. She died of cancer, and that's an incredibly sad song. Beautiful song, but man, that's a tough one to listen to.
Yep. And for the record, I never cared for the Beatles either. They make me think of an ugly car with a motor in the wrong place.
Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you for saying that. You're a level-headed young man. You are a level-headed young man.
Yep. It was just never my thing.
That
caused me a lot of grief back in my, when I was in my late teens and I played in metal bands over around Brunswick.
Yeah.
And my dislike of the Beatles and not wanting to play their music caused me a lot of grief with guys that I played with. I was even a minority rebel back then.
Minority rebel. What about this is the $1 million question of the morning. What's your stance on boiled okra? Be careful now.
I love the stuff.
Oh my God, Jimmy, have you lost your damn mind?
With John on that one. You know what my number one favorite food of all time is? The one that I would wade through hell to get a plate full of?
What?
Raw oysters.
Okay, I got you. I ain't got a problem with that, but the boiled okra thing is just, I don't know, man. It's just, I don't know.
Every winter, at least twice, my wife will treat me to a bushel of oysters that I will eat by myself in about 24 hours.
The whole bushel?
The whole bushel.
Holy moly. That's a lot of oysters, right? That is a lot of oysters.
I will eat them for breakfast. That is my number one favorite above all else.
I can deal with that. I mean, do you ever go out and get a bushel of okra and boil it and eat that over the next 24 hours?
I've been known to grow it. If I had a saltwater pond here, I'd grow my own oysters.
That's funny right there.
Yep. But yeah, I do the okra thing also. Very, very good. I love the stuff, but not near as much as I love the oysters. You take an oyster, cut that sucker off the shell, off of ice, cold, alive and screaming, saying, please don't, throw a little bit of minced garlic on that thing, or not garlic, but minced horseradish on that thing, and down it goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you don't need nothing much more than the horseradish. I agree with that. A lot of people
That's
will
all
they'll put what do you call it? Hot sauce. They'll put hot sauce on it, and
yeah,
to
a
me,
lot of people do that. I never did.
I like to taste the oyster myself. So.
Yeah, it was the Shipwreck Raw Bar in St. Joe Beach, Florida, that ruined me with the horseradish.
Mm-hmm.
Prior to going there and getting their dozen raw, I would just eat the oyster all by itself. But they altered my course on that with the horseradish. It really enhanced it for me.
10-4.
Anyway, it's getting time for Joe, so I don't want to make him late. I'll get out of the way.
All right, see you, man.
Biggest thing I wanted to correct you on that honey song, because that's one of my favorite slow songs.
Oh, that's right. But you said I didn't finish it up, and I think you were wanting me to finish it up. So should I close the show?
No, you sung the wrong one.
Oh, okay. I thought you wanted me to finish. I was just making sure I did. All right, bye. I think he was pretty adamant about me not finishing it, so I won't. Joe Bakanovic is next, 9:05 Eastern, 10:05 Pacific, not Pacific, Central. I'd have to do the math on the Pacific time, whatever 3 hours is. That'd be 12, right? Anyway, what would it be, 12? Yeah, I guess so. All right. Anyway, Joe Bakanovic, The Road to Concord, very popular show right now. If you can't catch it from 9 to 11, you can always catch the archives play on Facebook Live, or excuse me, on Facebook on Freedom with Steve Nichols. So y'all check it out. He does a really good job. 8:05 Central. Okay, I'm sorry. You're right, Joe. 8:05 Central. 9:05 Eastern. He'll be doing another good job today. No telling what he'll be talking about. So I'll be tuning in. I hope you do too. Appreciate y'all. And Joe may sing a couple of songs on there. I don't know. I don't know what his stance is on some of this stuff. I don't know. I've never talked to him about boiled okra, raw oysters, music. I don't know, but I'd like to hear his opinion. Maybe he'll get it. Definitely a fun show this morning. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Love each and every one of you. Get out there and face your challenges today. Get it right. Do better than you did yesterday. Give the glory to Jesus, and make sure whatever you do is pleasing him. I ain't always got that right, but I'm going to start today making sure that whatever I do ain't against what he would like. We'll see you guys tomorrow, 6 a.m. Y'all stay prayed up, and we'll see you in the morning. Thank y'all.
We at Freedom with Steve Nichols want to thank each and every one of you for listening. Together, we will protect, defend, and promote the freedom as our founding fathers envisioned. We believe in the spirit of the Declaration of Independence and strive to protect that spirit daily. Please thank and utilize the goods and services of our sponsors and advertisers every chance you get. For now, we bid you farewell. Have a great day.